It has to be authentic all the way through. So like, I can say we're going to think about safety first on everything we do, but like, it has to mean something. I have to show it, and it has to show through every level of leadership. And then you also just have to empower your field leadership. Like the superintendents and foremen, they should be leading your safety effort, not the safety department.
No, they're
like if you think the safety department's going to come out and save your ass, then you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like you need to take pride in the fact that you operate safely at a field leadership level.
Yeah.
Like that has to mean something to you. And it's a behavioral change because no, people don't like rules.
We have like a monthly book club going right now for leadership and anybody who wants to be involved.
Sure.
And so we're reading one book a quarter, meet for an hour once a quarter. Like it's very low lift. We're reading Extreme Ownership right now because that's a pretty good one.
Absolutely.
And it's a good. I mean, I've read it at least 5 times. It's just a great
Take something
leadership
away
book.
Different every time.
Yeah, and one of the chapters we just read a week or two ago was about how you as a leader, like it's your responsibility to ensure people have the information and understand the information.
Right.
And if they don't, that's not their fault. It's your fault.
Sure.
And it's like, that's a very good reminder.
Right.
Very good reminder.
And we talk about this with our leadership team all the time, more frequently than ever, but it sounds like you're being repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I already heard that from you, Hunter. Like, you don't need to say that again. But it's like, no, but if we're trying to really like change something in what we do, I don't know. I think one time I heard it's like a rule of 7. Like people need to hear it 7 times for it to really sink in.
Yeah.
And you don't want to like belittle that people like don't understand what you're saying.
Sure.
But if you really want it to stick, you have to repeat it over and over and over again. And like the whys, like not like this is what we're doing, see you tomorrow, but it's like, why are we doing it and why do we believe in it and how's it going to change their day?
No,
like,
it's but a great example, like something very powerful that totally does away with that that notion of being repetitive is church. Like it's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah.
it's the same thing every Sunday. Like
you're absolutely
that's
right.
One of my favorite sayings is repetition doesn't spoil the prayer. It's like you say the same thing every week for a reason.
That's right.
Like this is foundational. We need to, even if we understand it, to repeat things and repeat things and repeat things. And then it's you also have to say things in different ways and work things into language. So like I don't think a podcast for a construction company is by any stretch of the imagination the end all be all magic bullet, but it's a really nice tool that's totally different.
Absolutely.
When it comes to communicating, especially for the field.
Yeah. It's funny you use the church example because it is. It's like every weekend, it's a calendar and they do it every year over and over and over again.
Yeah. And
I'm reminding myself of that currently because I have 3 kids. They're 5 and under and we try to take them to church every Sunday and I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm there like for the ceremonial piece of it, but I don't get the message. But I'm like, I've heard it before. I'll get bits and pieces and put it back together. But
it's Easter, you know, he's risen again.
Exactly. Oh yeah, they're kneeling again. I guess that's where we are. So I chase my kid down the hallway. But
Oh, I'm sure with kids, it's just a total mess.
Yeah, you're trying to have something sink in, but it's more like get them in the rhythm.
Yeah. Is it all one wherever you go? Like, are the kids is it just one mass?
Or is there like my wife is Catholic.
Time?
I'm not Catholic, but we've chosen to raise our kids in that church, and we call ourselves kind of roaming Catholics at this point.
Okay.
We haven't settled into a parish.
Yeah.
Our oldest is 5, and so we go where we can make it, depending on.
But this is like mass.
It's mass.
Okay.
Some have Sunday school, some don't.
Yeah.
My oldest is just now getting to the age of Sunday school. I think I pretty emphatically told him this Sunday he will be going to Sunday school next week because I just can't chase him and keep him behaved the whole time and get any purpose out of it.
Oh yeah. How was it, like an hour and a half?
Yeah, an hour usually. It's pretty.
But that's a long time for 5.
It is. Absolutely. And his sister's 3 and the youngest is 1. And so all of them. And he'd get more out of going and doing the kids portion. And I mean, everyone who's gone through that in life, there's the Sunday school part is fun. Like you make friends and you learn a little bit about why you're there. And
I honestly, I haven't been good at going to church as an adult, but went as a kid, and I really enjoyed Sunday school.
Yeah.
We had a great Sunday school.
That's like before you're really questioning anything. You're
Yeah,
you're there to like enjoy it and like meet
You're
people.
just going
and,
along, and there's goldfish at the end.
Exactly. I remember lemonade and cookies was my
Lemonade. Yeah. Every Sunday school has their snack.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Does he come around the business much?
My 5-year-old?
Yeah.
I try to. Yeah, we try it. Not as much as I'd probably like. And it's funny, like I didn't really grow up that way. So it's like my step family's business. My stepdad was in my household since I was 6 years old. And he didn't really like thrust it on us. I'm trying to, like, he's at that age where like heavy equipment is like the coolest thing in the world. So I'm trying to expose him to it a little bit more. And on a weekend when we need to get out of the house, we'll just go drive through the yard, and hopefully there's not too much equipment sitting, but there's always something, and we can go touch it and play on it.
Want stuff
exactly.
There,
I'm like, why is this here? Oh, well, at least my son will have fun on it. Yeah. So I try to do that, and he loves coming to the office. The office is fun. There's snacks everywhere. Sure, there's toys everywhere. So exactly.
I loved going. My dad worked at like one of the world's most unexciting companies for a child, Deloitte.
Oh,
I mean, like,
you've been boring for most adults,
but I loved it because they, like, once I found the office supply room, because it was a serious office, so they had a whole room with office supplies, and he was a partner, so you could kind of get away with some stuff, and so you could go raid that with the highlighters and all the Post-it notes. You didn't need anything else.
Yeah, they don't need to be toys. Kids just want to play with anything.
Anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny on the yard thing too. When I got a job at a construction company while I was in college, and they had their yard attached to the office, which I was so excited about because that's where all the equipment was. And I was under the assumption that, like, I don't know, I didn't think they like brought the equipment home every night.
Right.
But I thought it was a construction company, so they'd have a lot of machines out back. Yeah. That was not at all how
Not a good model. Yeah.
No.
If it's there, it's usually in some pieces.
Yeah, or just junk.
Exactly.
That you need to get rid of. That went out the window. It was a huge bummer because it was like maybe a skid steer in the back. Right. Everything else was on the field.
No.
So you didn't. I think your background is interesting because you kind of grew up around the business. How old is the company?
The company started in 1949, so
it's been around.
A little over 75 years.
It's been around a while.
It has.
And then your stepdad came into your life real early.
When I was 6, I'm late 30s now,
okay,
so really early. Yeah. So second dad, like totally blessed to have another father figure and all those things.
And it was his family's business?
His family's business. So it was always. So they started construction in 1949, but before that, they delivered coal to people's homes to like heat their homes for their furnaces. So all the old buildings you go to, and there's a coal chute going down to the basement. That's where they'd go. They'd pull up someone's house and rake the coal out and drop it down the chute. And so they had our old office for over 100 years was right outside, like right on the edge of downtown Louisville, and had a railroad stint, and they'd drop the coal.
That is wild.
And take it places. But then
from probably Kentucky Coal too.
Probably, yeah. And I think there was a Doherty Coal Company at some point where they actually maybe had a mine somewhere. I need to know my history better, but no one really talks about it.
Sure, yeah. But you're a little past the coal business.
Yeah, exactly. So and then the gas lines came in like the 40s, and they had to pivot, and they had trucks that they hauled coal with, and so they started hauling asphalt. Mm-hmm. That eventually led to paving some driveways and buying an asphalt plant. So our first asphalt plant sat in that same yard.
Really?
I worked at that asphalt plant in high school. And then finally the neighborhood grew up around it so much that they forced them out.
Yeah.
And they moved out to the suburbs. And after some time in 2017, we finally moved out to the east side of Louisville.
Sure.
To have a bigger office because we were growing, luckily, at a pretty good rate. And we had people like buried in janitor closet and tucked away in the basement.
Yeah, 3 people to an office.
On this tiny little campus. I mean, it really wasn't much. It was the office on part of it, like a Quonset hut for our equipment shop where they like piece things together. A couple other off buildings where we had like forced some offices into. I mean, I probably had 4 different offices on that campus at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been an evolution, but it was cool to see.
If you're looking for another industry event that is a snooze fest, this is definitely not for you. But if you're a leader looking to elevate yourself, your team, looking for like-minded individuals that are hungry, then look no further than the Ariat Dirt World Summit, November 5th through the 7th in Dallas, Texas. In our third year, we'll have about 1,500 hungry industry leaders from about 500 companies looking to learn, grow, teach. It's going to be fantastic. We also have a world-class lineup. We've got Jesse Cole from the Savannah Bananas, James Clear, Atomic Habits, Kim Scott, Radical Candor, Mark Miller, Chick-fil-A Leadership, Tim Grover, who is Michael Jordan's trainer. You will not hear from a lineup like this anywhere else. So check out details now, dirtworld.com. You can use code Aaron10 for 10% off any registrations, and we'll see you November 5th through the 7th in Dallas, Texas. So was your first job at the asphalt plant then?
My first job, actually, we had a company called Tennitrack Sports Surfaces that built tennis courts and running tracks and all that sort of thing. My grandfather started in like the 70s.
Okay.
Before they really had like a USTA that like specified how tennis courts should be built and stuff. And so he was kind of part of that evolution. I had some family members that were big into tennis, and they're like, hey, well, we have the equipment to do this. Let's go do it. And
why not?
Actually, it was a pretty successful business for 30, 40 years, built a lot of the complexes around the Midwest and Southeast, University of Kentucky, Louisville, Notre Dame, Alabama, like all these really cool places. By the time I got there, tennis had kind of faded in popularity a little bit. But we traveled all over Kentucky. Yeah, pickleball is the funniest story. I have a good tidbit on that. Back when I was doing this, and so I was like 15 years old when I first got dropped off. Like all my friends were starting summer jobs as lifeguards or caddies at the golf course or whatever they're doing, working at McDonald's or coffee shops. And I got dropped off to the first week I was there, we drove to West Virginia to build some tennis courts at a state park there. It was from Louisville, it was 3.5 hours or so. I thought it was like going to be the coolest thing ever. I remember my mom being in a complete panic. Like, you're doing what? You're getting dropped off to travel with who? But it was really neat. And I got to work with my hands, and they didn't let me do a whole lot. I was the edge guy. I painted edges and rolled the wheelbarrow around and mixed paint. But it was a neat experience. But I never thought I was going to go the construction route. That was a great job. I made more money in the summers than like any of my friends could dream of at that point, which was
super nice.
Which was really cool. But it was also 50 or 60 hour weeks, and they were all working like 15. So it was a little different too. Yeah. But it was a really good base. But never thought I'd do construction. Went to college, studied, liberal arts.
Really?
Yeah.
Liberal arts.
Miami University in
Miami.
Of Ohio. So not quite as sexy as the other Miami.
All right.
But yeah.
Way different vibe.
Way different. Great college experience. Way different vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, art. I'm liberal arts. I was a history, political science major. Thought I'd go like the law school route. Never thought of going back into the family business. But I never really knew what I wanted to be. It was just like that made the most sense to me. I was always told I was a good arguer and that type of thing. And so law school seemed logical. And then graduated in 2009, like during the recession, and everyone was going back to school and no one could find a job. And the tennis court business that we had was kind of fledgling. The guy who had ran it for a long time was leaving for a different opportunity because it wasn't doing that well. And so I had the opportunity to go back and manage a business, which I'd never done.
So you ended up back in the tennis court business.
Back in the tennis court business. Wow. So I was traveling around Kentucky quoting tennis courts. And at that time, it was nothing exciting. I mean, no one was building anything new.
Sure.
I was driving 4 hours to look at cracks on a tennis court and work up an estimate that took me 15 minutes and then driving back. So I wish I would have had podcasts back then because it was terrible. But it was a really great experience. And I had usually like 2 or 3 crews. So like 12 guys. They had to show up to work every day, and they needed somewhere to go. So I mean, the pressure of that, I controlled all the business development. I worked up all the estimates. I went to all the bid openings, and then they'd come in on Monday, and they'd be like, "What do we got to do this week?" And the last thing you want is to tell people they're not going to get their hours. And these guys have been doing it for a long time.
Well, and you're this kid.
Yeah.
Like, what, you're 22, 23?
23 years old, and I've got 50-year-olds like reporting to me now that I used to work for in the summertime. Like that was a really weird dichotomy. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
But it was a great learning experience. And I think I gained a lot of respect from them along the way because I think they'd always had like kind of just a strange relationship with the old manager, and they just did their own thing. And so I had also worked there. I knew what worked and didn't work and the information that they did need. Yeah. But it was just keeping them busy for like 3 or 4 years. And then finally, it really just wasn't improving. Like the business wasn't improving. The market wasn't improving. And I finally went to my family and was like, I'm not going to be here any longer if I don't have a change. Yeah. I don't think these guys are having any fun anymore. And this business is not making any money, and no one really cares about it because the rest of our construction business was kind of really taking off, and it was growing, and we were kind of just off on the side. And there were no meetings about how our finances were doing. Like there was nothing. It was just like, okay, keep them busy, and we'll talk to you later if you like really mess something up. And so luckily we avoided that. But that was a tough like realization and a tough conversation to have. But we ended up closing that part of our business. We found other positions in the company as it grew for those people. So that was good. Like we didn't have to get rid of anybody that didn't want to go. Yeah. And actually we still have a few of those guys working in the business today. And that was, man, like 10 or 11 years ago. So
was that you that initiated that conversation?
Yeah, I had to initiate that conversation with my stepdad and uncle.
Okay.
And I guess like the good side of a family business is that's where they had like started as well. Yeah. And they kind of understood the dynamic. Yeah. And they also could tell, obviously, the rest of the business was taking off. And like Tenatrack at that point was just such a small part of what we did. And there was just no focus on it. And I think luckily them as leaders as well recognized like we're not focusing on it. Yeah. How much can we expect out of it? And Hunter's right. Like at this point, there aren't even bid opportunities. Like I got to be brought into the asphalt division, which is again kind of the family tradition was going up the asphalt route. So I got to join the asphalt division as a like junior project manager, learn how to bid parking lots and city streets and that sort of thing. Yeah. And for me, like I had definitely, if 1 foot out the door, I was like 2 feet out the door, like being drugged back into the business. Yeah. I was kind of done with it at that point. But going into the asphalt division, I got my first true mentor, like outside my family. And that changed everything forever. Like that is, and I've told this guy, like, you are the reason I'm still in this business.
And what did he do?
He held me accountable, man. He put his arm around me and he said, like, okay, I get it. Like, you're one of the owner's sons, but like, you need to be the first person here every morning and the last one to leave. Yeah. Like, we're going to get I'm going to teach you up, but like, I want you to be like the lead sales guy by the time I get done with you. Like, I know you know nothing right now. It was like all the right things. Like, I know you know nothing. I have no expectations for you, but I'm going to hold you accountable. He taught me lessons about how to talk to, customers when there's a problem. Like, don't hide it. Like, if you're not the first one to call, then it's going to be a much bigger problem. Sure, if they're calling you first, then you're, pardon my French, it's a shitstorm at that point. Like, if something doesn't go right, just call them and let them know. Like, everyone screws up, and things don't go to plan most of the time, right? So
when you're the one to catch it, like it typically goes pretty well. Like it's way scarier in your head, like
way
most of
scarier.
The time. Like sometimes it does go pretty bad.
And there are always tough people to deal with, but generally, like you said, like most of the time, they just want whatever they ask you to do to get done. Yeah. And they're going to pay you a fair price to do it as long as you communicate properly and give them what they asked for. Yeah. But if they, with the little they know about what you're doing, because they're hiring you to do it, right? They don't know how to do it. If they notice there's a problem and they haven't heard from you and they have to like confront you about it, then that becomes such a bigger deal.
Or the deadline passes and you're still working.
Yeah. And you haven't told them why
or explained it.
Exactly. It's really not that complicated. No. But to have somebody that like puts their arm around you and like teaches you those things along the way is there maybe for like that first hard phone call you have to make. Like, let's do it together. Yeah. Or I'll go to that meeting with you and be the gray-haired guy. Like that's one of the things in the construction industry. Like, I don't think we always talk about enough, but like, or like any industry is like, people with a little bit of, the figurative gray hair just get a little bit more respect. Like there's more lenient. So again, as like a 26-year-old trying to manage a job and you're building it for a much older professional, they just don't treat you quite the same as somebody that's their peer. And but I think that's probably in every industry, but
and this is where I think younger people go wrong is they let that hurt their feelings. It's like no, it's not about your feelings. It's like work with that rather than against it. Like I've never tried to prove that I'm the man, because it's like, I know I'm a dum-dum. I don't need to be the man. I'm gonna go find who the man is, and I'm gonna ask them, and they're 100%. Probably gonna help me.
Yes. I am now truly a professional at saying I don't know the answer to that question. But I have a whole building of people that do. So let me connect you with the right person. I don't have to be the engineer. I don't have to be the subject matter expert.
No.
So, but that is a lesson you have to learn. Like, I think our generation in particular got it so ground into us in school. Like, you need to go get a college degree and then a professional degree, and you need to be a subject matter expert in something. And I think that's where me going to law school came from. I felt like I knew I didn't want to be a doctor. Okay, so what's the next professional degree where I know everything about what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And that's a false narrative. Like, even lawyers don't know everything about they are subject matter experts in their own little worlds. Like, it's like, reason we probably don't have a head legal counsel at our business yet is because that person would just be subbing out other lawyers. So I mean, we're just, at some point, I'm sure we'll get to the size where we need somebody in our business every day. But
I mean, you're a pretty good sized company. But it's still not all that effective.
No, you're still just connecting the dots, right? And so acknowledging the things you don't know is just as important as the stuff you do. So
and it is interesting though. You do have to learn those lessons. You need somebody to teach them to you. You're probably not going to get it in school.
No.
And then, especially from a family business, like I've said this 100 times over. I don't envy anybody in a family business. Growing up in a family, that's a hard position to be in.
It's tough,
because you do have this shadow following you around that is like, oh, well, you're just in the family, like, and you have that clear chip on your shoulder, and so you have to go prove yourself. You have to go work harder than anybody else. And then. Like, you can only learn so many lessons from the family, oftentimes.
You're usually, in my experience, and this is not like to my family's detriment, but you're like the first one they're going to neglect. Like, figure it out. Like, I don't know how many times I was told, like, I don't know, just go figure it out. Like, what do you want to do? Find something that you like, and you have the opportunity to, like, do something with it. Well, when you have no clue what you want to do, that's not great advice. So, like, really for me, it was finding another person outside our family who really was like not going to let me fail. That was huge for me.
Yeah, standard. It's just a totally different relationship, different standards, everything. Like I was able to, I think, pick up. Like, I had a friend's dad who taught me a lot about business, not about like business day to day, but like the mentality of business, which I think is invaluable. I was able to pick up a lot more than my friend, because he wasn't my dad. I feel like it wasn't because I'm smarter. It was just because I'm on the outside, he's on the inside. And then you have this, like, especially with your own family too, you can have this like rebellious dynamic as well. Like, when your parents are telling you to do something, it could be totally right, but you could just feel like, kick rocks. You don't tell me what to do.
That's exactly right.
That person on the outside is key. What was their position?
At that time, he led our asphalt paving division.
Okay, all right.
And so now he's our COO, and his career has grown and blossomed. And I've been able to, like, I was an understudy for probably, 5 or 6 years, and then I got to take over the asphalt division as he moved up. So I ran our asphalt division for a couple of years, and we've always been, like, probably from his lead, and also my stepdad and uncle is just big on the succession planning part of things, like. We like to think that in construction, it is one of the few industries, like, promotion from within is such a big thing. And we really believe in it. But you always got to bring the person up behind you. And so once I realized that opportunity was there and they could trust that I was actually on that trajectory, like, I was able to follow him. And it also created, as the company grew and we created, like, this whole nother tier of leadership, like, we never had a COO before. But at some point we needed one. And he understood business well enough. He didn't need to understand all the different segments and like how things were built, but how to run the business and like the metrics that you need to understand whether you're being successful or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a people leader, like he's a coach. And so in my generation of leadership now in the business, there's probably like 4 or 5 of us that have come up kind of together.
Oh, wow.
He's probably mentored all of us.
Wow.
And so he's just been really important in all of our growth and the success of the business. And it's not because, so again, he was a guy who didn't come up in construction.
Sure.
He sold like copper metal, I think, for a long time.
Sure, yeah.
And then came into our business as a driveway salesman.
Huh.
But he understood like what was important, like the people aspect, like bringing people up, coaching them to be the best they can be, doing the right thing, looking professional, like definitely matters, like how you look out there and how you appear to not only yourself, but the customers, like kind of branding yourself, not necessarily like the marketing piece, but man, does that paver look like it's about to fall apart? Yeah. Does that crew wear the proper PPE? And this is back when all that stuff didn't necessarily matter as much, but like, let's take ourselves seriously.
How does the foreman talk to the inspector?
Yeah.
It's all
we're not
matters.
that far removed, but like truly from like when you open your truck door that has our brand on the side of it, our beer cans rolling out. Like that's like, yeah. And we're like, that's definitely like not acceptable these days, but within my career, that was not that abnormal.
No. I talk to guys all the time about this that are like, they're in their like 40s. Like, that's how I came up. I mean, drinking on the job was common. Yeah. I mean, it's still, I was in Europe. We were on a project. Everybody was on break. They were all having beers. I'm like,
on break too. They're going back to work.
Yeah, and then they go back to work. Yeah. But
that's very European.
That's
like a glass,
that's German.
A beer, a glass of wine at lunch.
Yeah. Very. Germans are drinking it like
that's
water.
Awesome. Yeah.
But it was the first time I'd seen it because I had, I started in, what was it, 2013? Yeah, 2013.
Yeah.
So at that point, safety was big.
Yeah.
Trash boxes, hard hats, everything.
Oh, totally.
That was all standard.
That's a good thing. But it's a remarkable how fast it's changed.
Yeah. But to think it's just been in less than one career that
absolutely
all that has changed seemingly.
Yes. And when you think about people, I mean, we have people that have worked for our company for 30, 40, 50 years. Like they've seen all of that.
Yeah.
And they've had to come along. And
sure.
That's just, it's amazing how different it is.
Well, and just this, like you've alluded to, just the size of the company, I'm sure, since you started to where it is now, like you guys do a lot of work.
We do.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So the growth has been pretty amazing. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of unreal that like most of it's transpired since I've been around. So I've been able to witness all of it.
That's what I mean.
I definitely don't want to take credit by any means for most of it. But it's just fantastic to like see, and like there's so many changes that have to happen, but it's all like, you just try to make it as positive as you can and you keep going and it's really cool. Yeah. I remember we used to, we barely had any sort of safety presence back when I started, but we'd have these safety meetings up in our shop and we'd unfold, a bunch of chairs, enough for our whole company to sit up there at one time and listen to the same speech from my uncle, probably about wearing hard hats and try to wear your safety vest, and if you have to take your shirt off, like like whatever, those types of conversations. It was not truly about like safety. It was just like kind of a reason to get everybody together and like talk about common sense a little bit. But we would all fit in the same tiny shop. I mean, I'm telling you, tiny shop and folding metal chairs, and now we're 630-ish people.
Yeah, and I went to your annual meeting this year. Yeah. It's like, wow, this is just to see, because that's the only time you see everybody in one place.
Right. We try to do quarterly meetings, but we have to break it into like 7 or 8 meetings to like get in front of everybody in our training center, which our training center now probably seats more than our shop did. It's just a different world.
Yeah.
But that matters. Like you want to get in front of everybody, and
it goes a long way. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of money.
We were excited to have you up at that event. That was cool. That was our first ever equipment rodeo as well.
Oh, it was super well done.
It was neat. It was fun.
But even just pulling into the parking lot, like seeing all the trucks in the parking lot, you're like, man, it's
mind-boggling. It really is.
There's a lot
It's
of
crazy
equipment out here.
Yeah. So I mean, in the 15 years, I think this will be my 15th year post-college. I don't give myself credits for the summers in high school and college. I guess it'd be 20 plus if I added all that up. But the 15 years of actually being back in the business, I think when I first came back, we were probably like 80 people. Mm-hmm. And so just that growth has been
a local contractor, and now you're
absolutely
like the road builder in your area.
We're one of them. Yeah, we are, I guess. It's so competitive. Just being in a large metropolitan. I mean, I don't think the rest of the world will think Louisville, Kentucky's big, but there's a lot of competition.
But I think Louisville is super underrated. Every time I've been up there, I'm like, I like it up here.
It's a great place. Everybody kind of battles with their hometown. I mean, that's where I was born and raised. But it's a fantastic place. It's a wonderful place to raise a family. The cost of living's not so bad.
Oh, it's great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's green.
Well, it's funny. Whenever I drive up there, I go, you go Jones Brothers.
That's right. I just drove through one of their job sites coming down here.
Yeah, the Jones Brothers drops off and Scotty's picks up. And then Scotty's drops off and then you guys pick
Louisville
up.
Paving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's all three.
No,
that's
right.
the interstate.
I drove through one of each job site on my way down here, I-65.
Every time. Yeah, it's
and
hilarious.
It's funny. Like, I think we all used to like beat our heads against each other all the time too. And I've never worked with Jones Brothers because of the Scotty's gap between.
Yep.
But now, like Scotty's, we've partnered on a few jobs. It's like, I think that mentality is changing in our industry too. I think it used to be so just like lines drawn and like we're gonna battle like tooth and nail for everything, and then now like maybe it's because some of the jobs have just gotten so much bigger too. But it's like, why pour so much risk into making sure you don't get any of it when like maybe we could work together?
Well, and I think the construction industry, civil construction industry, they've picked like the wrong enemy. They've thought, because of the way bidding and the whole structure, like you think that the names on the bid lists are your competition.
Sure.
But like, yes, like at face value, sure. But if you're just beating each other up, that just reduces margins for you both. It just poisons the marketplace, and you're the first person to lose. And I think that's where. I think part of it's driven by the market because the projects are huge.
They're just getting
nowadays.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I mean, and I have mixed feelings about that because I don't know if that's a very good trend.
Sure.
It's a great trend if I'm Kiewit, but
right.
but
for like the middle-sized contractors like ourselves, like you scale up to be able to tackle these incredibly huge projects, which is a great opportunity. Like, I'm thrilled that we are large enough to even like play in those arenas. But what happens when like the economy slows down or you go back to
all your eggs in one basket?
Exactly.
Being
diversified is like more important than ever, but you also have to be able to like jump on these mega data center jobs and things like that.
Which I like, you got to make hay while the sun's shining. But
Absolutely.
there's like some monster companies I know, like biggest DOT contractors in certain states have been like, hey, we're not even going to bid this job. And it's like, what do you mean? That's the biggest job that's ever come to your state. It's like, that's the point.
Yeah.
We're not going to bid it.
Yeah. Well, how do I serve the customers that are going to be here when it's done?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest,
and you're like, ooh.
That is the biggest quandary. It's like, I need to keep crews available for the guys that I've been working for decades, right? I can't just be like, all right, we'll see you in 5 years. That's not going to work.
Well, and I've also seen contractors, they've scaled up for these these giant projects that have just magically appeared over the past, especially 5 years.
Totally.
But even past 10 years with some of the warehouse stuff, Amazon
stuff,
it's
not all public. It's not all just like...
No, a lot of it's been private.
Highways. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they scale up and then they're now like, oh, shit. Like, what do we do with 50 trucks? And it's like, that's a great question. I don't know.
That's right.
And now you're, I don't know what you do.
No, I mean, we saw that coming out of COVID in our market. There was a design build that got let that we actually didn't bid because it was so big and it would have taken up so many resources. It was in our backyard. I mean, you've driven through it. Yeah. But it took so many trucks from the market for like 3 years that became not only like post-COVID, like trucking companies, I think globally kind of suffered from COVID.
Yeah.
But then having an extremely large job like that kind of come out of the blue because we'd never had anything even close to that scale. It sucked like all the trucks out of the market. And so then you're like, well, do we scale up our internal fleet?
Sure.
But then on the back end,
And
what
then
happens?
the trucks,
And then still there are no truck drivers. So I can place an order to get 20 more dump trucks, triaxle dump trucks, like a year and a half from now.
Yep.
But who am I going to hire?
Yeah.
And so that was we're luckily on the other side of that now, but it happens all the time.
Yeah. But I think, I guess going back to the original point, like it's great that these contractors are working together. I think so. It's a fantastic thing because I really do think we're all in this together. It's just one market. It's we're all bidding on the same projects. We're all working with the same labor market. Like
sure.
And I think that's the future of the industry, and that's where we're pushing with like the summit, for example, and other things we're doing is, hey, we're going to work with the contractors that want to go into the future. And if you want to keep doing what you're doing, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your business, but I do see more of the marketplace than most. And I don't know I don't know what's in the future, but I'm placing a bet that it's more contractors working together.
Sure.
And so we're going to help facilitate that.
Well, and going back to our earlier conversation is like, you can't be an expert in every part of construction either. So like, why try to be everything for everybody? Like stick to what you're good at and then partner with people that do things better than you as well. Yeah. Like why not?
Well, and you guys, like you have the materials business or the trucking business. Right. So yeah, you don't go bid this project and sign up, put your name on it.
Sure.
There's still pieces of that I'm sure you're serving.
Right. I mean, we don't self-perform everything. Yeah. I mean, it'd be impossible. Yeah.
No, it would just be dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is impossible now,
yeah.
especially with like government money. You can't because you need to meet the certain MB requirements, DB, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you just...
Well, and it's no way to scale a business either. I mean, the more you can safely subcontract and lay off risk and all those things helps you scale as well. And everything's limited. I mean, the people, limited resource, equipment, limited resource, all of it is. So how do you maximize that? That's what that's the equation we're always working on.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, I've only been out to 1-year projects, but with the amount of subs you had out there, tons.
That was a special one. Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. But they, like you did the hydro demolition. So you had the hydro demolition sub. You had the concrete cutting sub. Yep. Like there were a bunch of different.
We had a ton of dump truck subs on that job.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
There were a lot of dump trucks lined up that day.
Yeah.
I mean, all that coordination. But that was probably one of the more successful jobs we've ever performed. And yes, we were the prime contractor, but we had so many people that had to come together and work together to pull it off. Yeah. I mean, the constraints, like time constraints, are just getting crazy as well.
Sure.
So like coordinating all that and getting the job done on time it's just.
Well, and that's and this is what starts to confuse me too with it doesn't confuse me. It's ego, it's human beings, but like the fighting within a project.
Right.
It's just so silly as well because it's like, well, wait a minute, we're
all trying to accomplish the same thing, right?
Isn't exactly. Doing the project on time in everybody's best interest here?
Yeah.
But it goes back to like some of the basic lessons from extreme ownership. It's like, hey, if you're the prime, like your job is to make life easier for your subs.
Right.
Not the other way. Like your subs don't serve you, you serve the subs.
Right.
And the more you can do that, the more successful you can make them. The better they're going to perform, the better your project's going to be.
You're all going to get along. It's communicating and planning on the front end.
Yeah.
And the industry has come a long way in that as well.
It has.
I feel like we used to just like let every other, I don't know, contractor, utility, everything like kind of dictate how the project was going to go. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, we can't go there next week because so-and-so is going to be there. LG&E's moving a line or yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Like, and we just like let that be the excuse. And now... or our subcontractor's not far enough along, or whatever it is. But now you try to, as best you can, everything changes based on conditions, is build a master schedule on the front end, communicate that throughout, and then adjust where you need. Yeah. And it just, like you said, if everyone can just put their plan together on the front end, communicate successfully, you're not going to have those arguments along the way. Like we're all trying to get done by a certain date. We're all trying to make money. We're all trying to move on to the next job.
Yeah.
Deliver the best product for the customer.
I think a lot of that's been also driven by the more complex projects and more sophisticated owners as well. Like I actually think I have conflicting opinions about all the private money pouring into the industry right now, because I think it's kind of like a drug, and it's like, I don't know how long this keeps up for. Maybe forever. I'm just a dummy. But
yeah, which areas do you mean specifically? Like the data center?
Data centers, manufacturing. Right. It's like I'm talking to a lot of business owners now. And they're like, yeah, the market's slowing down. I'm like, it's not slowing down. It's just that the government's no longer spending trillions of dollars. Right,
right, exactly. No, you're exactly right.
You're exactly right. Have we forgotten like what 2019 was like? Wait.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, exactly. But it's like everybody's just, it's just, trillions of dollars of federal and state spending. Like that's just how it is. It's like, no,
it's not.
No, it's not. But that aside, I was talking with a contractor the other day, and they said it was their first time working with a big technology company.
Okay.
There's only a few of them. Yeah. Big technology company. And they said we went in and, we weren't sure what to expect because they hadn't worked with them before. And we thought these are going to be, tech guys. They're not going to know about construction, this and that. And he was like, we walked out of the meeting like, they know how to build this stuff better than we do.
Yeah,
like they're
with all the resources they have, they're hiring experts that know what they're doing.
Yeah, and then they apply this sophistication from their overall business as well to these projects. And I do think it's been good for construction as well, because it has forced civil contractors, especially and subs, to level up.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you want to go build a data center, you've got to operate at that level.
It has absolutely made us a better organization tackling these ginormous jobs.
Yeah.
I will tell everybody that, going to work for the Turners and Walshes and like these mega corporations, Gray from Lexington, building these giant projects that we've never seen before, it has made us so much better. Like not only from just job efficiency, but the safety, the planning, like all the things you have to do to make a project successful. You can't just show up and start moving dirt on something like that. Yeah. Like I remember not that long ago, we'd get a job from a private client or whatever, and we just send equipment out there and a foreman, and they'd just start, and they'd have like a piece of the plans, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, we'd actually have like a pre-construction meeting, and someone would roll the plans out on the hood of the truck. It wasn't even like a true pre-construction meeting. Now it's like so much more sophisticated. We're having so many meetings on the front end, in the office, with all the stakeholders. This is the plan. This is where we need to be. This is where we're going to start. If this goes this way, then we'll have to pivot here. You're talking about all the what ifs. And it's transformed the way we build things. And I'm probably the least capable of even speaking to that in our organization. Yeah. But it's so impressive. Like our pre-bid meetings now are totally different because of the complexity of the jobs. Like you can't just have one estimator put a bid together. Let's talk about markup for 5 minutes and send it out. Like, no. We need to get all heads together. Let's bring guys in from the field. Like, what are your production rates? Have you ever seen anything like this before? How would you tackle it? Yeah. And now it's like, well, let's apply that to everything we do. And it's been a game changer for us. But working for those like mega builders and just the standards they have as we've grown has been game changer.
I think I think that's how it's been industry wide. Yeah. I think it's been really and it's brought in some I'll use this term begrudgingly, innovation, I think, within the space too. Like even something as simple as like lime stabilization.
Yep.
That was not standard. No. Like not that long ago.
And what an incredible tool.
and what an incredible tool. Yeah. Like that was, man, I mean, I could count on my hand how many times I'd seen it before 2020 or 2018. Absolutely. Like as before these big site projects with warehouses really started to ramp up.
Sure.
But then it just, the schedules are just so compressed. It's like we don't have time to wait for the soil to dry out.
We're using those companies every chance we get.
Now it's standard.
Yeah, every chance we get. It speeds things up.
Because it just speeds things up. It's like, well, wait, we don't have to wait for everything to dry out? Like,
and it just gets wetter and wetter every year. It seems like something's happening.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But yeah, we can just use lime or cement or something to firm everything, and then it turns it into like concrete.
How much do you want to keep undercutting? I mean, I'll keep digging holes and putting rock back in, or we could keep moving. Like it's been incredible.
Yeah, yeah. But just something as simple as that, like that's now standard.
It is standard. Yeah.
Even for like state projects and for road like.
Absolutely.
I see it everywhere now.
Absolutely.
And stabilization contractors are like, let's go. Yeah. Who do you guys use?
Mount Carmel.
Yeah, Mount Carmel.
Yeah, Neil Ryan and his whole outfit over there. They're outstanding.
Yeah, they've done real well.
They have.
They're laying it down.
I'm telling you, we try to put them on almost every project we have because, I mean, Kentucky, I can speak. We're having like the wettest year we've ever had. If it wasn't for cement stabilization, we're having probably one of the better years we've ever had. We'd be so behind the 8 ball right now, and I would have to say that they're a huge part of that. Like,
it is, and even it's a nice tool too. We went out to a project in the Netherlands, and it was a dike reconstruction project, and it was just wet.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like
the Netherlands,
just a mess.
Yeah.
But all their haul roads were steel plated. Like giant steel plate, the biggest steel plates I've ever seen. The whole place.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, miles and miles and miles and miles of steel plates. And they just said, we ran the numbers.
This is what it takes.
And it's either we don't work or we put steel plates on everything and work. And it's like, I can't argue with that.
Absolutely.
If you did the math, the money's there, it checks out. Like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you see that here right now. It's not steel plates. I mean, because the cost factor is just exponential. But all these utility contractors that are putting up all the new power lines, basically, I don't know if it's happening here, but in Louisville, it's like every road right now, trying to like crank up the power grid. But they have like the railroad tie kind of. I don't even know what you call those.
The crane.
Put them all together. Yeah, crane mats.
Yeah.
I mean, miles and miles and miles of them. So it's the same thing. It's trying to stay out of the mud and keep working.
Yeah, it's the utility contractors love that stuff.
Yeah.
What's the big stuff going on in Louisville? You have Louisville's fascinating because you have UPS there, don't you?
Yeah, the U.S. UPS World Port.
Yeah, and then FedEx is Memphis.
Yeah. So our airport with UPS, there's always usually stuff going on out there.
Yeah.
We helped build a new maintenance hangar a couple of years ago, which was a big deal, which is kind of cool because now it's this towering building, and we helped do all the grading and site work and utility work and paving and all that went into that.
Yeah.
You're definitely seeing an uptick in data centers. We got one of the major technology companies building a massive data center that we're working on, working alongside Kokosing. So, I mean, another massive just civil construction company that we had never worked next to, but they weren't that far away, up in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, they're right up the road. Yeah.
But yeah, working alongside them, I mean, you just learn so much stuff.
Yeah.
Bidding against somebody like that, we lost the initial giant site package to them, but those projects are so massive that they need. We're digging, trenches for the utility contractors, for the electrical contractors. Yeah. We're moving dirt for another part of it that's not part of Kokosing's package. It's still become a massive job for us, and even with them on site. So it's been impressive. I think there's a few more of those in the works in our area.
Yeah. There's more of those in the works.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I don't.
And is that like a flash in the pan? Like what happens when technology blows past that? Like it seems like we're on this crazy trajectory.
Well, I was out with a contract. I was looking at this other company, and they said their plan over the next 5 to 10 years is build more data center capacity than exists currently. And it's like,
what?
Huh? Yeah. Like how? What? How?
Yeah. And then all of its infrastructure. So you can't have these data centers without the power grid. Well, and so our power grid's not big enough where we live to even support them. So now we're talking about like multiple power plants and all of that. So for the contractor, that's amazing. But like, what does that mean for just taxpayers and like the general public and like all those things?
That's the big question mark right now. Like I because you know as much as I know about infrastructure, like it people don't understand how infrastructure works.
Right.
And so it's like, I hear data centers. I'm like, all right, you need power, water, fiber.
Right.
Where are those things coming from? And especially water and power. I know some states have just had to say, we can't do this anymore.
Right.
It's like no more data centers. We don't have the power capacity.
No, exactly.
And if you look at the growth of power in the United States, it's been pretty flatline for decades. Sure. Like very consistent, very small growth in power consumption.
Right.
Because while the country has grown, we have become a lot more efficient. And our power plants are just better nowadays, especially with gas turbine. It's just, that has been no one talks about it.
Yeah.
One of the biggest transformations to the United States economy ever is the whole fracking thing, gas thing,
Sure.
gas turbine.
Yeah, no one ever
plant.
hears how it's applied.
No,
They
no,
never learn how it's applied. They
Like
just
it's
hear,
like,
oh, there's this field in South Dakota where everybody drove to make a bunch of money.
yeah.
But like, nobody knows how it's actually used.
It's only like, I don't know, made the whole United States economy boom since it started happening in the early 2000s.
Right.
And has been the sharpest decline in our emissions in United States history, but they don't want to talk about that either.
Right.
But you have this enormous now added demand that we just haven't seen as a country before from a power standpoint. And you see what the people in Silicon Valley are saying, like, oh, we're just going to go, small nuclear reactors. Like, what? Like, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
Wait a second. I thought we weren't doing nuclear.
Whoa.
And that technology has come so far, but nobody's talked about it in so long that it's just like the most terrifying word in the world.
But then we've tried it recently and it hasn't worked out. Like, look at South Carolina. I feel like Vogtle's like $15 billion in, and it's still not totally online yet. And it's like, all right. Is this the best way to go? I don't know. But they're like, no. Bill Gates hasn't figured out. We're just going to put baby reactors everywhere. It's like, maybe, but I haven't seen it yet.
I think
I'll believe when I see it.
Almost like everything. It's like the bluff to get funding elsewhere, right? Like, that's what we're going to take to Congress. And we're going to say, if you don't build us power plants, then we'll just do our own private nuclear. But nobody wants that to happen. Nobody wants that in their backyard.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
So then that's just their way of getting money allocated to what they need. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's working.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just a dummy, but I want to find somebody that totally understands the data center things. Like, oh, here's exactly what's happening, because I know everybody. I've talked to a lot of people building them now, and everybody's like, yeah, we're not sure how this all works, but like, it's great work. And I'm like, it is great work. This is phenomenal work.
We love building them, but exactly how does this all come together?
We have no idea like what goes inside, how this works. Not a clue, but it's phenomenal work.
Speaking to the one developer that I was, speaking to, who's trying to get some of these started, because the one we went to go work for was already approved. It was already, all those things already happened. Now talking to a guy who's like on the front end of it and is trying to like find the land and find the power and do all this.
Yeah.
The amount of information he's had to learn about the power grid. Mm-hmm. And this is the same person who is building like 500,000 square foot box warehouses for UPS to like hold, just all the goods that we ship around the world. Like that's not what he's had to learn on the power grid side and how that all works was incredible. I was like, man, you're like an expert in this field now.
It was like the whole Amazon warehouse thing was like the warm up.
No, exactly.
What's going on now?
Exactly.
Because that's like an Amazon a warehouse, just a warehouse. Mm-hmm. It's pretty straightforward.
It is, yeah.
You build a big pad.
Yeah, tilt up some walls.
Empty box.
Yeah. The sophisticated part is all the conveyor belt systems and stuff on the inside.
Yeah, but that's their thing.
Yeah, that's their thing.
From
a contractor's point of view, it's just
yeah. It's you can kind of build them anywhere.
Absolutely.
Not super power hungry, this and that, but the data center thing. Like even we were in Nevada, I was like, why are they building so many data centers here? And I was like, well, two reasons. One, and this could be total nonsense. I have no idea, but they said, for this kind of stuff, it's important to be as close to Silicon Valley as possible without being in California, because there's significant tax advantages to being in Nevada.
Okay.
But Reno is as close to Silicon Valley as it gets without being in California. And they're saying because of the way the information travels, even that small of a delay can add up to a lot of money, apparently.
Oh, I'm sure.
So they want to build it really close, and then along this interstate corridor, there's a huge fiber line. Fiber infrastructure already exists.
Okay.
So it's like, I guess that makes sense.
Except
I still can't explain
aspect.
it.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to cool things,
right,
as well. But I think what people also aren't saying is that without the data center stuff, without the manufacturing stuff going on right now, the site work industry would be hurting.
Oh, absolutely.
Bad.
The traditional areas that we always like made our bread and butter on before, like multifamily and
commercial
home building and commercial, is way down.
I mean, the warehouse stuff, like, just stopped. I mean, it was just like wild, and then just stopped. Like, somebody decided, hey, interest rates, this doesn't math anymore.
Right.
Park your money, and it's just been done. And it's like that and multifamily, like what you're saying, or big residential single family.
Yep.
That was like carrying the whole market. No one's even said anything because you have these.
Yeah, the interest rates and everything is a factor in that. But Louisville we have a large shortage of homes, shortage of apartments, and they're still not being built at the rate they need to be just because of the economic situation. So where would we be if we weren't doing these giant data centers and things like that? I mean, the large scale infrastructure is a saving grace right now.
It's huge. It's and then you still have all the federal dollars in public infrastructure. That's still the industry's still chewing through, which has been a big deal as well.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like everybody else looking at the data center stuff. I'm like, this is pretty cool though. Like, some of these projects are really sweet.
The AI that we all get to benefit from and play around with, and gosh, that's a huge learning curve, but it's pretty neat. When I hear like how much energy it takes for me to do a ChatGPT query is kind of crazy.
Oh, I saw somebody.
I don't know how accurate that all is, but I'm like, man, if we're burning that much energy for me to ask like who has the best French fries or something, what are we doing? Like,
somebody, you know how everybody, I don't know, like a month or two ago was making the little like action figures of themselves.
Oh yeah.
I saw there was this whole article somebody wrote on LinkedIn, somebody that takes themselves very seriously.
Sure.
How we shouldn't be doing that. It's irresponsible because it's a waste of power.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
try and convince everybody of that. Okay. So I can't play with this new shiny toy. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was losing it. I was like, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's making these fake action figures of themselves. They have the most powerful tool that's ever existed in humanity.
Right.
I need to make an action figure of myself.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, no,
on the
no,
other
don't
side
do
of
that.
it being like high and mighty. Yeah, exactly. It's too good.
Anyway, do you guys work in Indiana as well?
We do. Yeah.
So that's another interesting thing about Louisville. It's river right there.
It is.
Across the river's Indiana.
Right there. Yeah. You can basically, I can see it from my house.
And a lot of people live on the other side of the river.
A lot of people do. And a lot of the growth in our area is happening across the river.
Yeah.
Growing up, southern Indiana was very rural and not a whole lot going on. Mm-hmm. And it has gone through this renaissance. Mm-hmm. Actually, the data center we're working on is right across the river in Indiana.
Sure.
In this development called River Ridge, which is just massive. It was an old, I'm going to get this not perfectly correct, but ammunitions plant way back in the day. Yeah. It was thousands of acres where they manufactured and tested munitions for the Army.
Yeah.
And has been nothing for a super long time. And they finally got it redeveloped and zoned correctly. Yeah. And now it's million square foot warehouses, all next to each other. This data center project's 600 acres of data center buildings. Wow. It's crazy. And it's right across the bridge from our office, basically.
The Indiana, I when people ask where things are hot, I'm always like Arizona, Idaho, Utah, Tennessee, Carolinas, Florida, Texas,
sure,
Indiana.
And Indiana, yeah.
Indiana. Why right. Indiana? It's it's very cheap to live there. And
right.
a lot of people from Illinois.
Right. You have Chicago on the north.
Yeah, because Illinois.
I-65 that goes through the whole state.
Well, and they're taxing everybody to death in Illinois. So everybody's like, it's way cheaper to live right next door. Same climate, same vibe. Maybe people are going to be upset the Indiana people are like, no, we're not like Illinois. To me, it's pretty similar.
It's basically the same.
Yeah. But just way more affordable. So
Absolutely.
Tons of people have gone there.
Yeah, I think people would be shocked if you looked at how many like Fortune 500 companies are in Indianapolis of all places.
Yep.
It's booming. Indiana, they also have, I mean, can't always say this. It seems like they've had some good government policy, and
I think that's a lot of it.
They seem to have more funding there. Definitely far more funding than Kentucky's had.
Yeah.
It's funny though that you mentioned that Indiana's right there. We, for the longest time, the Ohio River might as well have been like the Great Wall of China for us. For whatever reason, we couldn't figure out how to compete over there. There's a community in Southern Indiana, and they've always been there, and they always work together. And it's like, how do you crack that code? And finally, we have been able to a little bit. It's stiff. It's stiff everywhere. But we're one of the largest paving companies in Louisville, like right there in like the Kentucky region. We could not figure out how to go pave in Indiana for the longest time.
Yeah.
We have this like nationally renowned testing lab with like some of the best minds in like asphalt testing and everything, and we'd go to Indiana and we'd like fail all of our tests on our asphalt. So I'm like, how in the world it's not that different? But it's just a learning curve. You just got to go and you got to do it. And I think we're finally at a place where we have confidence in it. But for the longest time, it was just, there's enough on the Kentucky side, we won't even mess with it.
Sure.
And like the mentality, like you just had to change everyone's thought process. But it's a great market.
Well, it is, but it is funny how just a river can separate you between a totally different market.
It is.
And just a different DOT and different specifications.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's culturally
the test methods
different.
Are all different, culturally
really?
Different. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but I love that about the construction industry and the United States. Like I don't know, when I'm abroad especially, people are always asking how it works and this and that. And it's like, well, it's all kind of the same, but I go to a lot of states, I'm like, man, it's different here.
Sure.
Like, this is just different. And especially like you could be building a road, it's always funny too, when I'm driving to Louisville.
Right.
When you go from one state to the next.
Yes. I noticed it today.
Yeah. And maybe that's just
the road looks completely different. I'm like, well, the aggregates didn't really change, right? And
no.
The liquid asphalt's the same. Like what?
No.
What happened here?
But totally
but
different.
It's different mix designs. It's like they connect. Like why?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But it cracks me up.
It's
like
funny.
It's so, or like I was driving Arizona to California, and Arizona's asphalt, California's concrete.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just a very
it's funny how states are aligned
abrupt
that way
change.
too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah, and Louisville, there's companies there, UPS is there. Then having UPS there, that's probably a huge boom to the economy.
It is. It is, and all the like peripheral companies that are there because UPS is there, and like there's a ton of conveyor belt type companies because you got to create those systems for UPS and different things like that.
Yeah.
Storage for all the, boxes and everything that comes through the World Port. There's a whole, definitely an entire economy that revolves around the UPS World Port.
And it's like, I don't know if people, if you haven't been there, like the Louisville airport's like, oh, it's
very
cute.
small.
Like, it's this cute little airport over here.
I mean, there's almost never a line.
I'm sure but it's like this quaint little airport. And then you have like UPS, and it's just the whole thing, just big 747 cargo
massive.
aircraft.
They have their own runways.
Like just one after the next, after the next, after the next,
exactly.
after the next.
Well,
this one.
It's Muhammad Ali International Airport, but the only international flights are UPS.
Yeah.
Because they're taking off from there and they're going all the way around the world.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
all over the world. Yeah.
I can get to Atlanta.
Someone told me this could be total nonsense, but they said the largest lobster distributor is in Louisville.
It is. Yeah. And you can't do it anymore, but the coolest thing used to be when we were growing up is they had like all the saltwater baths or whatever, they kept them in there to keep them alive. You could go down there and buy them at like wholesale.
That would be phenomenal.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think you can do that anymore.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
But that's, if I go,
you were getting like Maine prices in Louisville. And that quickly went
of
away.
all places.
Exactly.
But if I'm getting a lobster in Phoenix, like it has to be overnighted.
No,
and
absolutely.
it either goes through Memphis or Louisville.
Yeah. Our joke in Louisville is that we have like tremendous sushi because
Yeah.
all the fish flies through Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's stuff you don't think about.
You don't think about it. Yeah.
And then you have the whole, I think Louisville is really fascinating too, because there's the whole equestrian scene.
Equestrian, right outside of our city is just rolling hills of horses going towards Lexington.
Like,
we do a lot of work in that area
horse
as well.
properties.
I mean,
Lots of money.
incredible.
Yeah.
Middle Eastern
Yeah.
princes coming in and owning
Yeah.
these incredible farms and spending unbelievable amounts of money.
Uh-huh.
It's very niche. Like, you don't find that anywhere else. But some of the most beautiful properties you'd ever see. I mean, with all the fences, I mean, the amount of money that's spent on fence in Kentucky would blow your mind.
Yeah.
And then we have the bourbon industry, which is
And
also
then the
unique.
bourbon industry. Yes.
Bourbon is huge.
Yeah.
It's taken a little bit of a downturn here recently. It scaled up like in a massive way through COVID, because I think that's, the joke is like the liquor industry. It's good no matter what, in good times and bad.
Yeah.
But I think everyone scaled up so much because bourbon took off like globally.
Yeah.
I think they overdid it a little bit. There's still quite a bit of spending going on, but for a minute there, it was like a gold rush to start a distillery. People were starting them, trading them. I mean, it was just
Really
making multiples upon multiples on these.
Well, it was kind of like what happened with beer. Like back in the day, you had the few brands, and that was it. You had Anheuser-Busch and Coors, so on and so forth.
That's right.
And then all of the microbreweries popped up, and all the whole craft brewing thing.
Exactly.
And I feel like it was
That's
bourbon
what
and whiskey.
Bourbon distilling has done.
Yeah, it was the same thing. Like,
And it's been really cool. I mean, there are more bourbons than I could probably even like try in my lifetime. And when I was a kid, there was probably like 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like Jack Daniel's here from Tennessee.
Sure. Yeah.
Maker's Mark is a huge brand, obviously, Woodford Reserve and all those guys. And now there's just like thousands of little distilleries all over the place. And the cool thing they're trying to do now is build out like the Bardstown Bourbon Trail, like tourism. There's nowhere to stay out there right now. And so they've been looking at California and the model behind wine and everything and saying, hey, if we're going to have visitors, like so many people coming, let's build out this whole ecosystem.
Interesting. Yeah, it always cracks me up when I'm halfway around the world and there's always like a Woodford or something like that at the bar, and I'm like, man, that's just right up the road.
Exactly.
I'm halfway around the world. Like it's just amazing how far that like Kentucky bourbon will travel.
It really is.
But I feel like Kentucky's almost forgotten in a lot of ways by a lot of the country.
It is.
Maybe it's not a bad thing.
It's so central. It is kind of amazing. We have, I think it's 3 interstates that traverse in Louisville. So you have I-64, I-65, and I-71 that all come through there.
Which is good
so you have
a
ton of traffic coming through there. You have the UPS Worldport, obviously, at the airport.
Yeah.
I think the big logistics thing that Kentucky sells is, I'm going to get this not perfect, but like within a 600-mile radius of Louisville, so like a 8-hour drive is like 90% of the population in our country. It's like a crazy metric. I mean, those are going to be slightly off. I should have ChatGPT'd it before I said that.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe 75%.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's a crazy metric, and so Kentucky is right there in the middle of it, and we've definitely benefited from it. But I think we haven't experienced the boom like in Nashville, even in Indy.
It's not a bad thing, though.
It's not. I mean, it's good and bad.
There's pros and cons.
There are definitely pros and cons.
Yeah. It's it is interesting though how fast some of the southern cities have changed.
It is very interesting.
Like a Raleigh.
It's happened so fast.
Way different. Raleigh, Nashville, Atlanta,
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Birmingham,
Columbia, South Carolina. I mean, Memphis is still Memphis. But Bowling Green,
right?
Like they're
booming. Yeah.
Booming.
Totally.
Booming. There was that big project, that bridge replacement downtown. When did they replace that bridge? How long
so
ago
they
was that?
built 2 new bridges in downtown Louisville. It was back in like 2016.
Okay.
So Walsh came in and built a new downtown crossing and then an east end crossing. There was never a bridge out on the east end. And so they had to dig a tunnel, which was very controversial, under just like an old historic property that people went to battle for.
Yeah.
And so it's like not a very long tunnel. And then they built a brand new bridge that goes over to Indiana on the east end as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they built them at the same time. I think that at the time it was like the largest infrastructure project in the United States as they were being built. Yeah.
Because it's also pretty important. Like a lot of people go back and forth, don't they?
Yes.
Like a lot of people from Indiana work in Louisville. Is that it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also because right there in downtown, you have those 3 interstates converge. And so you have to have the capacity. It's such a bottleneck.
Sure.
So that was a big deal. We got to do the paving for the downtown portion of it. So we worked with Walsh and did all the approaches. We paved the bridge deck in Rossfalt. That was a really cool project to be a part of.
Yeah, I think I've seen pictures of it.
It was really neat.
It does look pretty cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, because you're the local asphalt supplier, probably the predominant asphalt supplier.
We're
I'm
probably
sure
the largest. There are plenty of other ones.
Yeah.
It is a competitive, rich environment, but we're probably the largest.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the differences between family-owned business, materials company, and the big companies?
Yeah, I mean, I think
like there's a lot of family businesses selling to the bigger companies right now.
There are.
There's a lot of consolidation.
There is, yeah.
So that has to be part of the conversation. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, it's never been our intention to do that, and like right now we're in our own kind of like fun growth like moment.
It seems like you're really moving.
We're being 75 years old, we're also kind of in like our own little renaissance ourselves. Like generational change and all those things usually promote some like excitement. And I think just what we're doing, we rebranded with you guys. We took a 75-year-old company and totally created a whole new parent company to bring our brands underneath to identify as one. We had gotten pretty segmented. And so like there's a lot of momentum behind that. And I think Louisville being that kind of like middle-sized town, it's kind of kept some of the big players out permanently. Like they'll come in for large-scale projects. Like Louisville's building a new VA hospital for our region. And so you have Turner doing that. We're working for them. You have the Kokosing coming in for the big data project, but they're not coming and staying, knock on wood, at this point. And so it allows us to like get a piece of those things, but then kind of still be the local like family business, right? And so having that just influence on our town, providing for so many families, it's just a really neat thing. I think we take a lot of pride in that. So
it's huge.
Yeah,
it is. But I think that's one of the cooler things about the construction industry and the civil construction industry is you can still have a family business that is competitive against even the biggest companies in the country. Yeah,
and I think that we've learned that over the last few years. It's like it's a very intimidating, like that first bid against a mega guy.
Yeah.
But then you're like, wait, we're here. We're ingrained. We got a pretty good cost structure. They got to bring everything in. Like we have really qualified people. The people don't look any different. Like that's sometimes what gets forgotten is like just because some giant international brand is coming in, if they get the job, they're going to want to hire our people. Like our people are just as good and a lot of times even better than some of their people. And so we're trading people, we're developing them from within. Like when you realize that you don't have to be at that scale, but you can be just as good. It's like a kind of a really incredible realization. And it's a huge springboard for like where you can go. And that's what we're kind of in the middle of right now, I think.
Well, and I feel like at least this has been for me as somebody earlier in my career, now getting a little further down the path, is that you just realize that like even these big companies, like they're all just people.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
You almost get, or at least I've been all the time as young as I've been younger, like you get caught up in the big names, big brands, and then you go into a meeting with them, you're like, it's just a guy.
Right. Yeah. No, it's so intimidating at first. And then you're like, I'm like so jealous of what you get to do, but you get so much exposure to all of this. And you do get to just like walk in the door and ask questions and learn. And you're never competing against any of them.
No.
You're truly there to just be like a sponge. And that's like, I think that's kind of what we've tried to, like the mindset we've tried to have is like, yes, we want to be a part of your project. Yes, we might not be as sophisticated, but here's what we're really good at. If you do something like that makes more sense than us, like we're not afraid to adapt and like, let's go do that. But all the people look the same. And to a degree, like we're all like faking it as we go, like
Yeah.
in everything we do, right?
Big-
like
big time.
we're applying what we've learned to something we've never done before. So it's not perfect. We're all just trying to figure it out
Yeah.
to some degree.
Yeah.
So
What's your favorite kind of work you guys do? Do you have a favorite kind of work, or is it all the same to you?
it's definitely not all the same.
Well,
I think,
yeah, but from an excitement, like
No,
or
like-
satisfaction level.
you know what? It's funny because we are a very diversified business. Like, I probably geek out on the stuff I know the least about.
Like what?
So the asphalt paving I know the best because
Sure.
that's a part of the business I grew up in. And so like I could answer that question and say I love paving just because it, like, if you grow up in asphalt, like the smell of it, just like being around it, it's so like rewarding to see what you accomplish every day. It's like so immediate.
Yeah.
But then there's parts of our business where we do like large scale wastewater treatment plants and pump stations and like large underground utilities. And I couldn't tell you like the first thing from a technical side of things, but the scale of it. And when we're flying drones over these like retention basins and different things we've built, I'm just like agitators and all these, it blows my mind.
It is my first time going around a wastewater treatment plant was with Garney in Virginia earlier this year. I had never like really gotten into, I kind of understood how they worked, but I'd never really gotten into the weeds of how wastewater treatment works.
Yeah.
And they took us through the whole process. I'm like, this is like a giant science project.
It is.
Like it's not, it's really complicated, but not that complicated.
Right.
But the infrastructure that it takes to make it happen is like, wow, it's
incredible.
Wild. Yeah.
I think it's just neat being in the business like where we are diversified in the different things we can do. Like I could, like, depending on the project, like I could go geek out on like almost something different every day. Like the amount of like, we're moving large scale earth like more at a larger scale than we've ever done before. So like going out and seeing like the setups that we have now compared to when I started, like that's exciting. Flying the drones and like getting the information back from drones now that we can do, like it's unbelievable. And so like you put that all together and it's just, we're trying to be better also at like the collaborative nature of all those businesses. Because for the longest time, they all just worked completely separately. And so now giving everybody like the exposure to the different business segments and like thinking about bids together, like let's bring in the estimator from the wastewater treatment portion for this highway job. And like, what do you see that we don't see, and vice versa. And like, that's been huge. So like sharing that knowledge, it's priceless. So it's fun. It's funny because I'm probably like the least technically minded person in our entire business. So I get to kind of just observe and ask like the obvious questions that sometimes get ignored. Like that's probably where I contribute in a bid review. Is like everybody gets so in the weeds because that's what they do every single day, that I'm 50,000 feet like, okay, this may seem basic to you, but like, why did you start there? And like every once in a while I'll stumble upon something. Most of the time I'm just making sure that they've thought everything through from a risk standpoint. But it all kind of boggles my mind, honestly.
I mean, it's amazing. You could be resurfacing an interstate one night. You could go see mass excavation because you guys move some dirt nowadays.
We do. It's impressive.
Then go to a highly technical wastewater treatment plant the next day. It is pretty, and all within a pretty small radius. Which is amazing. And
in our building, like all those operations are on the same floor. So I mean, they're sitting next to each other, like hammering out jobs and managing, and like that was so intentional about when we did move, is like having a building where they could all be together, because we were all so segmented before. And so like you can almost not help yourself but overhear somebody else working through a problem. And that's very intentional because we want everybody to work through those issues together and have somebody that they can lean upon. It's just been really neat.
You're at the point in your career, I mean, you've taken on a lot more responsibility, like over the past 5 years?
Yeah, I have. So this will be year 3 as president, I guess. Yeah.
So 3 years into it's you and your uncle.
Yes, my uncle and I are business partners now.
That really run
the business. So he's our CEO. I'm the president. My stepdad is chairman of our board, but he's basically retired, and I commend him for being able to like walk out the door and go enjoy life and check in for board meetings, because not everybody can do that.
No.
I still have a great uncle who, for instance, comes to the office almost every single day. He's 92 years old.
Really?
I mean, he hasn't been in the business in decades, but it's just like, that's his identity, right? And so I get to see both sides about like, there's an aspect of that that's really cool, that like he's almost become a mascot.
It takes a lot of awareness.
It does take a lot of awareness.
Yeah.
And just an example that's right down the hall from you that says, okay, I don't want to do that to Hunter on his way up and with our team. And they've allowed me a lot of leeway to like kind of put my spin on things. And I think that's probably one of the biggest realizations I've had in this short stint in my position is, you don't like ascend to that seat and have like a million ideas of like, okay, when I get there, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You're kind of like, well, how am I going to put my fingerprint on this? And you kind of just like stumble in to different things as you start seeing it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Because one day you go from having like deliverables every single day and like, okay, well, I know what I need to do when I walk in the door on Monday and I got to check all these boxes, to then now you're like seeing everything from a overview kind of standpoint.
Yeah.
And so like the rebranding effort, breaking down the silos was like the biggest thing I realized on day one was, man, we have like 4 pretty incredible like business segments, but they don't work together at all. Like, what is that about?
Sure.
And like there'd been rumblings about that from different leaders in the building at a high level, but it was just, no one had really done anything about it before because it's the way we'd always been. And so that was my opportunity to come in and say, okay, there's been all these rumblings about this, like let's do something about it. And so I was able to do something about it, and I was given, luckily, like the leeway from my uncle and stepdad to like run with it.
But and it's I'm sure it's a delicate balance though, because you don't want to come in like, we need to change things, because it's
totally a delicate balance.
Because I've run into this all the time. Like, this was the first few years of business for me. I was just beating my head against the wall because it was like, hey guys, we should do it this way. And they're like, well, I mean, we've been doing this a while, so that's awesome, but no, we're good. Like, the business is 75 years old.
Right.
So like there are, I'm sure, plenty of things that can be better.
No,
but I'm sure of like, it's like, well, we've tried that.
Yeah.
Like, we tried that 33 years ago, and here's why it didn't work.
You're right. But it's like, first of all, we're in the people business. So no matter what level you're at, you always have to be thinking, how is it going to affect the people in the business? Namely, in our like world, you should always ask, like, how is this going to affect the field first?
Yeah.
It's like, don't do anything that's going to disrupt the field just for the sake of disruption. Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
No one's going to come along with you. So you have to be very intentional about that. But then at a leadership level too, like, you have to have your leadership team aligned. And if they're not aligned with you, like, I couldn't have done any of that if my leadership team wasn't like begging for it at that point. And then once you have that momentum, you kind of weed out the folks that are like, no, I've been doing this for long enough, I don't want to change. And that's never your intention. And it's like one of those things that's always been said to me, like, when you inherit a team, you're always going to lose people, because like no one ever goes into that role thinking, oh, I'm going to, weed out all these people and change things and make it my own team. Like, that's everyone you have you think is great until you want to take it in a different direction, and you're like, oh, well, those people don't want to come along. Once we got full alignment and people were basically like asking for it, then it just became so much easier. Like, we want to work together. We see how this is valuable. We see how it can make us better. Like, the collaborative nature of all this would take us to another level. It made it like exciting and fun. And so like now it's a totally different environment. So that was a huge just opportunity for me. And like you said, it's also, you kind of just stumble into opportunity as well. So here we were as like, I guess you could consider us a historical company established at that point. How much change can really take place? Well, we didn't have a project management system. We didn't have an estimating system. We were kind of just going by like, we had really talented people that had built their own processes and procedures, and that every estimator had their Excel sheet they worked on, and they had their vendor base, and they had their subcontractor base, and like, it was not united at all. And so like, yes, you had incredibly talented people and it worked, but like, how many efficiencies were you leaving on the table?
Well, and even if it's completely efficient, that can't transition to the next generation.
Exactly. You can't pass that knowledge on. Like, it's lost.
No, you have to systematize it at some point.
Exactly.
And and I think that's especially like that just intergenerational change. It's like, great, you've gotten away with this. This is the most perfect spreadsheet imaginable. And you've built all this great work from this spreadsheet. But you're the only person that will ever know how the spreadsheet works.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yeah.
And so it could be totally right for you.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't
and it
work
worked for decades.
And
we're successful. And like,
so it's not wrong.
No. And it's nothing against them. Like, the last thing you want anybody to feel is like, oh no, you've been doing it wrong. Like, no, they've been doing it right.
Yeah,
we just never gave them the tools to do it any differently.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a huge, like, when that dawned on us as well, it was like, oh man, we could all be working in the same system. And like, it all just by happenstance now, it's also like the data side of it and AI, like building that data pool. Like, there's so much data that's collected in construction, from estimate to production in the field, and how that all comes together. And so we were leaving so much of that information just in people's heads.
Sure.
And that's still just someone's like best guess on like, how did it go? Because when the estimator handed the bid to operations, that estimator was never hearing how the job went later, other than from a cost value standpoint, right?
Yep.
And so now having that like estimating system that communicates with your project management system, that's been a big change. We were able to do as a team. No, actually we use Innate that was developed by Kiewit. So Innate's our project management and estimating system on the Louisville Paving construction side.
Interesting.
And then on the PACE side, the wastewater treatment plants and everything, we use Procore.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, we actually, we may get to one system at some point, but they were different enough.
Yeah.
And I guess it's an example of like, give people what they want to some degree. Like, you don't need to pull everybody along kicking and screaming to like one destination.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of value that Procore could provide PACE that was, and their business is different enough from Louisville Paving. So like, I don't need to force everybody to use, like, but what I want is like, I want you on a system.
Yeah.
I want to get you there. So like, I want you to feel like you won and you're excited about it, and let's just go. Like, let's just start collecting the data. Let's get unified, and let's learn from the work we're doing more so than we were.
And that's all. That's an interesting point too, because sometimes like you do have to get everybody on the same system, and it's just how it is. Like receipts, for example.
Yes.
Yeah, is the stupidest thing in the world, but like getting everybody on the same receipt tracking system,
absolutely,
accounting system, so on and so forth.
HR system.
That's really important. Yeah.
Exactly.
And not everybody's going to be happy. There's not going to be one system that's going to be definitively better, I found, for everybody. Like very rarely.
Right.
It's usually like a Ford versus Chevy versus Ram. Like
just pick one.
Yeah. They're all pickup trucks.
Yes.
They're all great.
Yes.
It's kind of personal preference.
Yes.
Some people are going to be happy with this one. Other people aren't.
Exactly.
But then there's other times where it's like, all right, is it going to make or break things to force everybody onto this just so we have the same thing across the board? Or is this an opportunity to be like, well, what would you want?
Right.
Like, what works best for you?
What truly applies to your area.
Yeah.
And if it would have been like one half dozen of the other, I would have preferred naturally to have everybody on one system. Mm-hmm. But you want to give people wins along the way too. Like, you're asking them to make a big change.
Yeah.
And more so than anything, it's a behavioral change. And so like, I want them to be the ones leading it. Like, I don't want to, if I can avoid it, like as a leader, you don't want to force things. Like,
no, we didn't end up doing this because of cost. Ultimately, we thought it was going to be cost advantageous. It wasn't, but we told everybody we were committed to it. We were going to go from Google to Microsoft, and it was like somebody died. I mean,
right.
It was, there were a lot of people that were not excited.
When you're in that ecosystem, it's a big change. I mean,
I was one of them. I was like,
wait, why are we doing this?
But it's so funny how personal it is. Like, people get comfy and cozy in their systems, processes, even like machines, pickup trucks. Like, it's all like that.
Yeah.
And when you start to change things, you're like, hey.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah. I do not want to do something different.
I'm not insulting the incredible Excel sheet that you've built.
Yeah.
And made better for a decade. Like, it's incredible. Like, if I had a shrine I could like put it up on the
Yeah,
wall, I
yeah,
would, because
yeah.
you should be very proud of this. But this is just taking it to another level. Like,
Well-
and like you said, it's so that the knowledge can be passed on.
That's the
like,
bigger
it can't just live in your environment. Like,
No.
that's just, we can't do that anymore.
That's the bigger thing.
Yeah.
And that was like me with, you know, Google Drive and how I have it set up. It works great for me,
Right.
but it doesn't work for anybody else.
Right,
And it's
right.
frustrating for everybody else. It's like, okay, I see, like,
I get it.
do I want to
yeah.
keep it? Yes, but this is best for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to figure out how to make myself excited because I'm one of the leaders here. And
Right.
if I'm not bought in,
Yeah.
nobody gets bought in.
Yeah.
And it took me a while, but I finally got to that point, and then it was like, oh, it costs too much money. We found out, so we're not going to do it anymore. I was like,
It's a huge relief to everybody, including yourself.
oh,
So
it
you're
was
like,
a audible sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank goodness.
yes.
Yeah, the systems and process thing I think is more important than ever. And it's just, even if your business wasn't transitioning from a generational standpoint, like just the way you've grown,
Yeah, it's scalability. You
You
can't do
have
it. Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
you
There's no other
cannot.
way.
No, like you said, innate Kiewit. Like Kiewit is probably the best systems-based contractor, period.
I mean, when you're that size and you can create your own.
Yeah,
it's
but they,
pretty
I mean,
incredible.
but they,
Yeah.
they've built their own software.
Right.
It's like they're, and it's just so dialed in, and that's why they are why they are. It's like,
That's exactly
here's the
right.
operating system, use it. It works great. If you don't want to use it, you don't have a place here. Like,
Right, exactly.
this is it.
This is how we roll.
Yeah,
yeah.
We've been doing it this way for
Exactly.
a long time.
But
It's worked.
Unfortunately and fortunately, as you grow, you need that system in place for the next person. You can't train every single person up to do it their own way. Like, it's just not,
No.
it's impossible.
Well, and you now need it, going back to the initial conversation, to work with the bigger GCs,
Yes.
the bigger customers,
All of it.
private, even DOTs, state organizations now,
Right.
are, to throw them a bone, they're getting more
They're coming along,
sophisticated.
yeah.
They really are.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot to be desired in some places, but
Sure.
I think they really are changing. Some
Yeah, I mean,
DOTs are really
e-ticketing
coming
and
around.
all that stuff, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, transparency is not a bad thing.
No,
Like, yeah.
no.
So,
How's it been in that transition period? You do have a lot of young leaders, I feel like,
we
at the
do.
company.
Yeah, we've been really good about that.
It is a pretty, you do have a younger bench
Yeah,
nowadays.
we've like I said earlier, we've been very intentional, and I have to give the generation ahead of me, like, that's what they instilled in us, is they were very intentional about making sure we were all empowered to take the next step. My stepdad's always said, like, when you're going up the ladder, always like pull the guy up behind you. Like, we're not going to promote somebody unless they've established the person behind them. And that's become like a core culture. Like, that's part of who we are. And so I've been very lucky to have incredible leaders to look up to. And then, like I said earlier, Kevin, our COO, who like mentored kind of my generation of leaders, like, that's kept people around, and he's put his fingerprint on all of us. And we've been able to come up together. And so that's been really neat as well. And so we're very well set up for the next 20, 30 years, which is probably not the case in most construction companies.
I think it's super unique.
But it's been very intentional. It wasn't just like something that we got lucky and happened out of nowhere. We've been very intentional about promotion from within, developing people, and just that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, you almost have this like new class taking over in a way.
It is.
Like,
Yeah, it's very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Like,
I mean, I guess we have a couple. Our COO, Kevin, will retire in 2 or 3 years. Our CPO, Chief People Officer, is going to retire at the end of next year.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us are basically all the same age. We're all late 30s, early 40s.
Wow.
So it's exciting. And I think you hear a lot about like the aging demographic in construction, and it's definitely real. But I feel like we have like so many young, talented young people, like this wave of talented young people.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys are on the front end of it with the training programs and everything. It used to always be we have to recruit all these young people from farming communities, and that has to be their background. They have to have this like field working mentality. I've been on a tractor before, and now I know how to operate equipment. Well, like, those people don't really exist a whole lot anymore.
No.
But the technology is kind of like been the new like pathway. Like all these kids grew up with technology. They all love it. It's part of their lives, and equipment and operating, all that stuff is just like an extension of that.
Mm-hmm.
So why not harness it that way?
Yeah, I feel like people, they almost like romanticize the farm kid thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like,
I mean, it's real when you can find them. Like,
it's real,
yeah.
but you can't, they don't exist anymore.
No.
It's just not a thing. Like it's just mathematically not a thing. Just
the
way farming's gone. Like farming is more important than ever before. I'm not saying farming's not a big deal, but just
it
how
looks
many people
different than it did 2 generations ago.
Yeah,
too.
But that's been the same. Like that's been consistent with human history. Like
exactly.
we're sitting here being upset about evolution that's happened for 10,000 years.
Right.
But yeah, there's like this romanticism to it, but it's just not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I feel like I went to lunch with you guys. It was a while back now, but it was like, I mean, a lot of people there. Everybody was young.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very young crowd. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's working out for them.
Well, I mean, you try to be as intentional about that as you can, but obviously you can't just like snap your fingers and like, no, we're just a young workplace.
No.
But it's a culture thing. Like you want to be the like preferred employer, and that it attracts those people. And if you like have that mentality of like, okay, it's going to be all about our people. It's going to be like pretty progressive. Like we're going to try new technologies. We're not going to be afraid to like stub our toe by implementing something new. Like we don't need to be the like first mover on everything, but like what's going on out there? Like let's test this, let's test that. Like that's what young people want to be a part of. I think that's who we're trying to be, and like definitely wasn't always who we were.
But I also think that's a great way to attract a younger workforce.
Absolutely.
Younger leadership, which I'm not saying all the old guys have to go. Like but if there's younger people in charge at the company, like if I go to the About Us page and it's there's a lot of them in the industry, especially the more established companies, like bunch of old white guys, white hair, suits, in like some like very dressed up, like,
because they wear suits to work every day.
Yeah. But it's like like a school photo shoot.
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly.
Like, wow, this is and not like that's fine.
Yeah.
But me as a young person, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I'm not like, that inspired.
How many tiers do I have to work through before I have an opportunity?
Yeah, like man, I only have to do 33 years before
I can maybe get there one day.
I have a leadership role.
You're exactly right. When you have young leaders on your team, it shows like opportunity can happen quickly.
Yes.
And that's a huge thing. And I think we've really, really tried to get away from you have to buy your time. Like that is a ridiculous statement. Like if you're talented and you're good, and like namely like being a leader is about leading people. It's not about like I worked on this shovel and then I operated this piece of equipment and then I made like no. Like you need to know enough. Like by all means, we're not going to like promote anybody doesn't have the skill set and the knowledge base. But if you're a skillful leader and you can lead and motivate people, like you can kind of learn the other things.
Sure.
Being a people leader is totally different than having like the knowledge technical skill set. I am like maybe the ultimate example of that. Like you do not want my advice on how something's built.
But like
I
you said,
need to be that person.
Yeah, you don't need to be that person.
That was like one of the biggest realizations for me in my professional career was I told you like earlier, I said like I thought I needed to be an expert in a field. I needed to go get like that professional degree. I eventually went back and got an MBA, but that's once I figured out like I just needed to know how to like lead people and like kind of point in the direction, right? And empower people to do what they're good at. Like I don't want to micromanage anybody.
No, but it's really it's such a powerful real. I mean, I was talking with somebody who's 24 yesterday, and it was just like, you know, what would your best piece of advice be? I'm like, I don't know what we were talking about, but I was like, don't act like you know what you're talking about. You're 24.
Exactly.
You don't know shit, dude.
No.
And you don't have to know shit.
No.
Like that's the coolest thing about it. You can just say, I don't know, or like comments on YouTube, especially like, wow, this fucking guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the whole, exactly. You're missing the whole point here.
Yes.
The whole point is that I don't know how this stuff works.
Yes.
So I'm going to go find people that do know how it works, that are doing it, and I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to show them how they're doing it.
Yeah. Don't ever.
That's
if you
it.
want to be if you want to be a leader, don't ever stop being a learner.
Yeah.
Like you never know everything. And what you're doing now is probably not going to be the best method of doing it like 5 years from now.
No, but I mean, you can probably attest to this too. The most accomplished, best performers that I've met in the industry, no matter what position they're in, whether they're CEO or operator or truck driver,
sure,
they're the most curious.
Absolutely.
And they're the most. They'll make fun of themselves. They're very rarely just taking themselves super seriously.
Absolutely.
And they'll always say how little they know. And it's like, all right, that if they're saying how little they know and they're an older guy, I'm like, that guy he's probably playing dumb. Like, I bet
it's a true humbleness. Like you need to be humble. Yeah, absolutely.
But anybody playing dumb, like, all right, you know and there's a lot of those guys that I have a ton of respect for. Like, and I'll have to tell people, like, he plays dumb, but like, don't let him fool you.
Absolutely.
He's probably one of the best earth movers in the entire United States, that guy. Whoever he is.
Right. They don't need the spotlight. They're just good. They don't need to tell you. Yeah.
No. But they've been, like, the industry and the work has humbled them too, and they're smart enough to understand, like, listen, no matter how many times I've done something, every project is different.
Absolutely.
Every crew's different. Every set of conditions is different. Every project, everything we do is different. And if I'm coming in thinking, oh, well, here's the best way to do it, I'm probably going to get my ass
You're only
kicked.
seeing it one way. That's a trap.
It is a trap.
A total trap.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you.
Fortunately, in civil, there's not that many. I don't think you can really survive in this world with that mentality. I mean, not that much.
Everything looks different, right? Like, it's all different. There's a different approach to everything. And we've all been around the guy who is emphatic that this is the only way something can be built.
Yeah.
And they're never right.
No.
It doesn't mean that the way they want to build it is wrong. And like, look, go that course, you'll probably be fine. Like, but the second you stop looking at it from different perspectives, it's a dangerous path.
Well, and it might be perfectly right, but perfectly wrong. Like, the example I used the other day was, like, people, if I post earth moving in Florida, they're almost always top loading articulate trucks.
Okay.
And every dum-dum on the internet, they have to go prove that top loading's stupid. Why are you doing that? It's so much more efficient if they were on a bench, this and this and that. It's like, wow, very good. Like, you want to pat them on the head, like, you're so smart.
Sure.
But it's like, listen, dum-dum.
Yeah.
There's something called groundwater in Florida. And so
situational awareness would tell you.
If you put the truck in the bottom, it gets stuck. So that's why it's up top. Like, do you think they hadn't thought that one through?
Right.
They hadn't asked that question.
Right.
But it's just like, it's just people cannot help themselves when they see top loading a truck.
That is a lesson that my uncle taught me very young. So these people with experience do teach you, like, so many incredible things. And, like, I'm so lucky to have, like, these mentors, but this is very simple, but being right is overrated.
Yeah.
Like, anytime you feel like you have to, like, justify, like, why you're right and win an argument and everything like that, then you're going down the wrong path. Like, have your say, move on. Like,
I think of the meme, like, the guy on the couch, like, sleeping on the couch, like, I won the argument.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look where you are. That's great. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You won.
Had a few of those folks. Yeah. You know what? At home, I'm not as good at the lessons maybe as I am at work. So I get that. The couch example probably resonates with everyone, including myself.
Yeah. As hard as this industry is, I don't think any man would say that it's easier than at home. I feel like. And
if you could apply all those practices, I mean, honestly, some of, like, the best leadership stuff I learn in, like, Vistage or whatever it is that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
If you apply it at home first, like, that's almost every example I hear, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that would work at work, but that would definitely work at home.
Yeah.
And if you can kind of use those two, it's a good juxtaposition sometimes. Yeah.
I think it's so special.
Yeah.
That relationship, father son working together, especially in the same place. Like, just how unique is that?
How many other industries does that really exist? Really, I mean,
it's nowhere. No, yeah. But like, not to speak too much about like human evolution, but that was kind of how it happened for a very long time. And now you oftentimes don't even live in the same place that your parents are. Like, I don't.
That's right.
My parents are across the United States, and but you don't see it all the time, but you see it enough. Like, I've got enough photos now of a husband and wife, or family, anybody related out in the field.
It's a neat part of our industry that the family dynamic and generations working at the same place, and people that meet there and get married and then have kids that come work there.
That happens a lot.
We've had all that. It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I do it too, because it's like, I know their family's going to want this photograph. And maybe this photograph doesn't matter today, but this photograph will matter at some point.
Absolutely.
And this will be one of the most, and I'm not talking up myself. I'm just like, they probably don't have a photograph of them together.
Generations of working there.
Yeah.
Our generation is obviously so much better at the photography thing, maybe to like a crazy extent. Like, we take pictures of everything.
Sure.
But the value of like you taking the picture of the father and son on the job site, no one's probably ever done that for them.
No.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, they have the memories and they get to go home and talk to their family about it. And like the mom and wife, like how proud that would make them just to see it. Like, they know it exists, but to be able to like put it on the wall.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's exactly why I do it, because I know how much that photograph means.
You know what? That actually like inspires me. We always do like the photos for like branding and like dressing up our own office or something. But how often are we doing that and like giving it back to people? That's something I think we should do.
And that's where like the marketing stuff has always been a struggle, because I know how important it is. Everybody knows how important it is, but this world really struggles to spend, and I get it. Like, I understand, to spend money on stuff they can't see.
No.
I can buy equipment, I can see it. I can buy diesel fuel, I see it. Like, I concrete, I see it. Like, they deal in a very physical world. You're always dealing in stuff that you can see. And that's, I think, why the industry struggles with people.
Right.
Because it's squishy. You can't see it.
Right.
But like, some of my favorite comments that I've seen on our stuff is always when somebody's saying, "That's my dad, that's my mom."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's huge. They've never seen them at work before.
And like, what does that do for pride and retention? Like, over the moon.
Massive.
Or I've had even like very senior executives be like, "I've never been able to show my family what I really do until now." And it's like, man,
I mean,
that is amazing, because you can't take people on job sites anymore.
No.
Like, data center project, you can't be like, "Hey,
we're not even allowed to share photos.
No,
of like half the projects we work on.
But two is like, "Hey, can we have like a family day?
Yeah,
can we just
exactly.
yeah. You're gonna be like,
no,
no.
Let's call our lawyers.
But like and again, going back to how things have changed so quickly, like the previous generation, you could just go to job sites.
Right.
You could just go to work with your dad. Like, you could just grow up on a job site.
Sure.
So many people in the previous generation were on job sites as kids.
Right.
And we've forgotten.
By necessity.
By necessity.
Somebody needs to watch the kid today.
Exactly. Yeah. And then while they're there, give them a hammer, give them a shovel.
Exactly.
Let them
just curious.
Grease gun.
Right.
Yeah. Let them help out, because one, it's nice to have a second set of hands. Two,
absolutely.
Like, the kid thinks it's fun most of the time.
No,
or temporary when they're beginning.
Yeah. It's just supervision. Let him work a little bit. Yeah.
But
I know where he is.
But within like just a few decades, that's out of the question. Like, nope.
Right.
0. 18 years old.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And then we're like, well, why don't 18-year-olds know how to do anything? Well, it's
I know.
Well, they haven't been working on the family car at home, because the family car, it's so complicated now, you can't work on it. Too, it's just like they're in the suburbs, and so they're there aren't those opportunities
That's
anymore.
Exactly right. I was lucky to be a 15-year-old that was able to do that in the summertime. That was so uncommon. Like to be able to, like,
and now
I don't even
gone.
know if it was legal. I guess it probably was. I was on the payroll, but it wasn't that long ago.
No.
No. But to that point, I mean, I guess segueing to like kind of how we connected and the telling the story aspect is like, we have been so lousy at telling the story of like what we do and why we do it. Yeah. And like those photos are like a microcosm of like the why and like showing like what it means to people. But as an industry, like our company, we were if you asked me like 5 years ago, like, what do you guys do? It would have been like the most fumbled like statement of all time. I would have had no idea how to explain what or why we do it. And so when we went through our rebranding and all of those things, it was the exploration of like why and like how do we tell this story better? Like everything we do, we improve. Like everything we touch, we get to make better. Mm-hmm. And like that whole exercise of every day when our teams like touch a job, at the end of the day, they've improved it somehow. Every job they build, they've improved the world. Like they get water to people's homes. They make roads safer. They provide infrastructure that is people's schools, where they shop. It's all those things. Like I was just in a meeting on Friday, and Pat Nelson, who's like the chairman of NAPA right now, he was there and gave us a speech to our state asphalt association.
Is he Lehman Roberts?
Yeah, they're owned by Granite now.
Yep.
But he talked about how in Memphis, like part of their story was at some point in time, they've paved like every road. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's our story too in Louisville. And how many people every single day, he was like, throughout the stat of like 1.8 million people drive on their roads every single day to get wherever they're going. And I'm like, that's our story too. And how many contractors are there around the country and the world that connect people to their lives? Like that was our kind of like statement for forever, is we connect people to their lives. And there's no truer statement in our industry than like we make all those connections happen.
No, I mean, there's probably not a single person in Louisville that you haven't impacted in some way.
That's right. And like how for 7 decades did we ever even talk about that?
Yeah.
Probably not really.
Yeah.
So now like giving people just that concept to go home with, and from like a marketing standpoint, like for the next generation of people coming, it's like our generation feels this way a little bit. The next generation like really needs a purpose. Yeah. Like what's our purpose? Like, man, we have like one of the coolest stories to tell of anybody. I know that's what you're all over, and I'm kind of just like repeating what BuildWit's all about in a way. Yeah. But there's no truer words than that for our industry.
Well, and that was what was so fun when we did it, like the whole branding thing, because we weren't coming in and manufacturing anything. No. It's like you're, I mean, this is a really stupid analogy, but you're like an archaeologist. Like, so you come in with like your shovel and like your little brushes and stuff, and you're just like, you're just there to uncover what's already there. Right. Like it's already there. You're not making it up.
No, exactly.
You're just like building the story with what exists. And
exactly.
That's everybody's always been like giving me and a lot of what we've done, I feel like, too much credit, because it's like, well, it's already a great story. Like it's not even that hard.
Yeah. But aren't like the most like almost all inventions are just like a new way of like, it's just like the easiest, like you didn't have to recreate anything. No. It was always there. You just made it like better. You just told the story better. And like we should all be telling the same story. Like that's not unique to me. It's not unique to Lehman Roberts. It's not unique to anybody in our industry. But for all of us to unite, kind of like that's what this whole industry is about. That moves the needle. Yeah. Like that's a big deal.
And it's what has to happen.
Yeah.
That's where, and this is just where I start to lose patience with some of the older folks that can't quite get that, and or it's like I'm fine with them doing what they've always done. Who the hell am I? I'm 30 years old. I don't know what the hell's going on, but like, just don't get in the way.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the way, that's when I start to get upset, because it's like, listen, bud, you've had a great career. You've built a lot of stuff. You've made a ton of money. You have so much money. You're good to go.
Sure.
Just get the fuck out of the way. Like this is a lot bigger than you, and we have got to get on.
And
with
like
it.
you said, it's not changing anything. It's just telling the story better.
No.
It's like fundamentally nothing's changed. Like
No.
you're building the same project. Like,
and it's just like, I get it. You're proud, but you're building to Kentucky DOT specifications.
right.
You're building the same road that everybody else in Kentucky's building.
Right.
Because you legally have to.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not trademarking that road when I'm done. It's,
No.
exactly, yeah.
You're not putting your name on
No,
it. Yeah.
no, yeah.
It's just a Kentucky DOT spec road.
Exactly.
But what I've also understood, and it's starting to happen, which is really exciting, is I've always kind of in jest been like, listen, I have more time than these older people do. I just have to wait. And even the other day, I was talking with somebody. I was like, yeah, we tried to get out there, but so-and-so in charge was just not having it. And they were like, well, they actually retired not too long ago. I was like, oh, fantastic.
I get to take another swing.
Let's try it again. Like, how good is this?
But like, it's so short-sighted too, because what do they think, that there's not somebody else right down the road that's doing the same thing they're doing? And now they get the exposure and their stories getting told and their brands becoming.
And they think it's top secret because they're not on the internet. But I'm like, oh no,
is that a good thing?
You haven't heard of the internet. Yeah. Let me show you how this works. Like it's wild, but everybody knows everything now.
I mean, we used to have some leaders in our organization. It was like, you would have thought my request that like, can we put some branding on our job sites? Like maybe the job trailer should have our like logo on the side.
But that's been blasphemy for a long time.
Oh my gosh. Or like the silt fence could have our logo or whatever.
Or pickup trucks.
It was like, well, why would we want to do that? Then people will know who to call to complain to. I'm like, that is like a broken mentality.
Exactly.
Like, or you could take pride in what you do and be proud of it. And like, man, it's just, and when you push that ethos down to other people, like how negative is that throughout your organization? Instead of like, oh, I'm not afraid of like the two people are going to complain. What about all the people that think what we're doing is great?
Sure.
Or like all the people that are like discovering our company from a potential like workforce.
Or or it's an opportunity to engage with somebody.
Yes.
Like, listen, wait. I forgot. Our customer is the person using the damn, like living here.
Right.
Like this is who I feel like people forget that too. It's
that's who's cleaning the reservoir where our water comes from.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, they're local. That's actually a cool story.
But like, it's like, that's an opportunity to engage with the end user. Mm-hmm. And yes, there are people, like everybody in construction's been around these people that are terrible to deal with.
Sure. There are people in society that just are not happy.
And they have nothing better to do.
Let's not build a strategy around.
But just be a thorn in your side.
Exactly,
but there really aren't that many of those people. And a lot of times it's just somebody that's one, they might like, their frustration might be legitimate.
Sure.
Like one, your trucks might be too dirty.
Right.
Or your your track out might be a mess off this project, and it might be breaking windows.
Isn't that an opportunity for us to raise the bar? Like, let's just be better.
Yes.
Like, let's give people less to complain about instead of being afraid they're going to complain.
Yes.
Like, I've fought that battle.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
But again, you have this class of contractors that's coming up now. Like, I think it's two categories. It's the Louisville Paving that, hey, we've been around 75 years, but we want to keep raising the bar.
Yeah, how are we here for another 75 years?
Yeah, and then there's the contractors that have been around 8 years.
Yeah.
It's some 30-something-year-old guy that started it.
Yeah.
It just is like growing like a weed.
Yeah.
Because they don't know any better.
Well, if there wasn't this is how we've always done it, this is how we've always done it conversation, then we just get to start fresh. Like,
they're
how
unencumbered.
would you do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're starting to chip away. Like they're starting to eat market share.
Absolutely.
And I think it's those two. And then you're always going to have the big incumbents that, the typical big players. But I don't even know if their model is safe and sound, because if they can't figure out the people thing, great. Like, you have how many asphalt plants? Good for you.
Sure.
But if you can't find people to run your asphalt plants, what's an asphalt plant worth?
Or do they feel like they're part of the organization they work for? Like at some point, like that is, the battle of growth too is like still feeling like a family business.
Yeah.
Still feeling like we kind of use the terminology like, do we want to be a small big business or a big small business? It was kind of like, because we have this growth trajectory and we want to keep growing. Like I think growing is another way of just like, we want to keep evolving. Like everyone gets hyper focused on the revenue line or whatever. It's like, yes, that needs to happen. Like none of us want to make less.
Sure.
Like none of us want to like take a step backwards. So like growth is necessary to a degree, but also like the growth mindset is about just being better too. It's not always about like top line growth.
Yeah.
And so how do you do that, but also like have the same touch with your people? Like still have the same family mentality, still think of people first. And like, yeah, those like mega companies, like who do I connect with? Like,
and
you get incredible experience. And like, we've hired some really talented people from those giant companies because they want to work with the president. They want to work with the owner. They want to have say in like how this place operates. And, and we've benefited from that, but then you don't want to like outgrow that feeling either.
And it's really hard.
It is hard.
And I haven't seen it done too many. Like you start to, I mean, you're at the size where it's like, it's hard. Like you start to go past 500 people. You've got
really
to be
check yourself.
Super diligent.
You have to really check yourself on that like ivory tower mentality.
Yeah.
And be very cautious about like, is this policy really applicable to our people?
And that's
or is it just like, we're going to help our EMR or like whatever, like, are we doing this for the right reason?
Yep.
Or is there another way? Maybe there's another way of doing it. There's another way of rolling it out.
Well, and this is where it starts to get controversial, but it's not, because this is how I've seen it play out. It's really down to culture, but legitimate culture.
Right.
And but once you get to a certain size, it's so much easier and less risky to just rule by rules.
Right.
Listen, here's the rules. And this is where I think safety has gone the complete wrong direction in a lot of ways, because the people that have made safety all about just follow the rules.
Right.
It is what it is. Just follow the damn rules. Here's the book, follow the rules. And if you don't, you're fired. And that sounds silly, but I would say that's the majority at the bigger operations.
Right.
But every once in a while you come around a company that's like, and they're safer than anybody, go figure.
Because it's in their culture.
Because it's cultural, because it's common sense, because they trust people.
Right.
Because they like really care, and their leadership really care. Like, because they've maintained and they've not just maintained, but they've grown what got them there in the first place.
It has to be authentic.
Yeah.
It has to be authentic all the way through. So like, I can say we're going to think about safety first on everything we do, but like, it has to mean something. I have to show it, and it has to show through every level of leadership. And then you also just have to empower your field leadership. Like the superintendents and foremen, they should be leading your safety effort, not the safety department.
No, they're
like, if you think the safety department's going to come out and save your ass, then you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like you need to take pride in the fact that you operate safely at a field leadership level.
Yeah.
Like that has to mean something to you. And it's a behavioral change, because people don't like rules. Like,
well, and people are smart, people are intuitive.
Yeah.
And some people are pretty, in this world, they're pretty bitter about people, and they'll think everybody's a dum-dum. But people are intuitive, and it's like, if you're treating me like a fucking child, I'm going to act like a child. I don't like that.
Right.
But if you're really caring about me, and I can tell the difference, like I'm smart enough to know what's going on here.
Right.
I am way more bought in, and I can tell you these experiences I've had where it's like, man, and I'm not saying people don't care, like they don't know any better, or again, it's simpler, it's more black and white to just make safety. And I'm picking on safety because that's the simplest.
No, sure.
That's where I see it go off the rails the most.
Absolutely.
It's simple to just rules. But I can tell you the experiences I've had where it's like, this is different. They legitimately care what the heck's going on.
Right.
Like,
right.
They legitimately care.
Right.
And I'm just more bought in. And I can get that feeling in 5 minutes.
Right.
Which is amazing to me. And I'm fine with all of the rule. Like I'm not going to go kick and scream too. But my complaint with the bigger companies is like, I wish they just said like, listen, we're just this big multinational company.
Right.
We need to have rules, and you've just got to follow the rules. It is what it is, and we're just going to treat you like a 6-year-old because we have to manage to the lowest common denominator, and we don't trust you. And it's like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I get it.
And when we work for some of the really big dogs, like that's kind of the way it feels at first. But then you also get to know their people, and you're like, well, they are people too. Like at first, because it's always like, it's brought our whole safety program along working for them because you pick up all these tidbits on like really what you should be doing, which is really good. But at the same time, they acknowledge like they have to do it because, you know, corporate is pushing, like, and that's okay. Like as long as you understand that, and that's the process, then we can all kind of understand each other and work together. But it's the most common denominator is we just want people to go home safe every day, right? Yeah. So like, let's just give them the tools to be safe, like self-audit jobs. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, here's the way to do it. Like, here's our format. But no, like, we're not going to have a safety person. We can't have a safety person on every job every day. And their situational awareness is not yours. Yeah. They've never built a job like this before.
Correct, yeah.
You're the one doing it every day. It is one of the hardest things to do is build a safety culture and not be as rule-based as you're saying, because I guarantee anybody who's done this for a minute has tried both approaches. Mm-hmm. And you're right. It does not work to be totally rule-based. There has to be some gray area. Not every rule broken can be applied the same way to every situation. Is a suspension warranted? Is letting somebody go warranted? Yeah. Is a near miss? I mean, all those things. Like, gosh, near misses is like I would say one of the greatest new trends in safety is like, please share your near miss with us. You will never get in trouble for that because there's so much that can be learned. Yeah. And then not only just like sharing that with the crew that it happened, like, okay, well then let's blast that out to the entire company to say, this is what happened on the job site today. Now you don't have to learn from your own mistake, learn from somebody else's. And luckily nobody got hurt.
But the whole near miss thing only works
if people believe in it and they're not going to get in trouble.
Exactly. And that is rare. Like,
it's very rare.
I've been in situations
we're getting
where it's like
better at it, but I'm telling you, it's safe. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard. Yeah.
I had this was a long time ago, but I was checking in and they had the board that said, no incidents in like 1,000 something days.
Right. Yeah, we have a similar board.
Yeah, everybody's seen those, and the guy checking me in was like, "You see that? Don't fuck it up." And I was just like,
How do I even move now?
Well, I just ate shit doing something. This was a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
I ate shit, and I tore my knee up pretty good.
Mm. You didn't want to be the one to break
There was no fucking way I was saying anything. No way.
Yeah, but that's not a great...
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero chance. And maybe that's my fault, but I don't know, man. Like, I
No, I get it.
And so that's where it's like, well, something like that would be great. But then it still comes down to that, like, it still comes down to people.
Right.
Like, you can have all these, and it was a big company, big rules, all these systems, processes, big safety work, so on and so forth. But it still comes down to that one individual I didn't necessarily feel cared for.
No, exactly.
So I wasn't.
All those metrics are good, and the board with the days without lost time, like, that's really important to us. And like, we've done that to be intentional about being like better about no lost time and workers' comp and all those different things, like keeping people working as much as we possibly can. But man, resetting that to zero is not the end of the world. Like, accidents happen. It has to be about the person. Like, you got to take care of the people first. Like, you should not have feared reporting that you hurt your knee. Like, it's going to happen.
But I think I would say that's the majority.
I know. And it's a razor's edge because you want It's just, how do you combat that?
And it is tough because again, you're working for these customers that are like, listen, we have a zero, and that's where it works against each other. It's like,
totally.
Do you guys not see this? Like it's saying, and especially now you get into training. It's like, so we have so your whole generation learned by fucking things up.
Right.
But now there's zero tolerance for that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm on board.
We want less people to get hurt.
I'm on board with less rework, less injuries, 10-4.
Yes.
But we're also not going to give you any kind of training or anything like that.
Sure.
And it's like, well.
Yeah. And we're not going to have any comments
which
and
is
conversations.
It? And we want you to report anything, but if you report something, we're going to have to shut the job down. You're going to be in big trouble. You might not be able to do more work. Like,
right.
I don't know what to do. And you're just in the middle. You're like,
right.
You know, me as a foreman, out in the field, like, hey, and there's, you know, I know that. I'm smart enough to know that.
Sure.
And there's 65 people, you know, theoretically, 65 other people at my company working on this job site.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be the one to jeopardize the livelihood of all of these people and it gets so complicated, so messy. That's why I hate when it's just black and white, because it's like, no. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not.
It doesn't.
But I think a company like you guys, going back to the big picture, like, are perfectly positioned to make that a reality from like a cultural standpoint.
Yeah, I think we try.
That family business.
We try our best, and we've stubbed our toes on almost any initiative we tried to roll out. But if you have to be like humble and acknowledge that too along the way, like, give us benefit of the doubt. We're going to give you benefit of the doubt too, and that's like what our organization needs to be built on, is that trust within each other. Is like, I promise you, we're not going to roll anything out just to roll it out.
Yeah.
There is a purpose behind this, but we'll also acknowledge, like, if it's not working, we'll scrap it and throw it away. But like, let us try, because it's always just in the sense of like trying to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like you're sitting in your office like, all right, how do I make things harder for people? How do I make things worse?
Yes. And if I'm in my office just like shooting things out, then like, shame on me too, right? Yeah. Because it needs to be vetted at like multiple levels. Like, that's never a good recipe for success either. Just the guy sitting in his office shooting out all these different things.
But it goes back to the power of just saying, listen, I'm doing my best here.
Right.
I am the only person within this business with access to the information that I have, the perspective that I have.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean I know everything.
Right.
That definitely means I don't know everything. I don't need to know everything. Like, even just approaching it from that perspective, I feel like gets you a lot of trust.
It does.
Because it's like, oh, wait, this is the guy saying he doesn't know what's going on. Like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know what's going on either. I'm glad we're on the same page here.
Right. You hope so. And empowering people, like, from the safety aspect and everything, to say, like, everyone has a say. Like, if you're uncomfortable on a job site, like, I don't care if you've been here for a week, like, having the like power to stop a job. Yeah. Like, I try to tell everybody, like, taking 5 or 10 minutes. I know we're all like, everyone's so dialed into production. That is like just the nature of the beast. Like, construction's never going to change that way. We're always going to be about production, because that's what makes the dollar. But you are so much less productive if you have an incident. Like, if something actually does go wrong and they shut the job down, God forbid somebody gets hurt, or there's just a long investigation, like, that's way less productive than saying, we're going to have an hour stand down because this just is out of whack right now. Yeah. Like, that looks bad. That trench isn't set correctly. We're going to just take a step back and plan this again, is so much more productive than having the incident, right? Like,
well, and remove safety from it. Even just maybe the operation's a disaster, or it starts raining. It's buttoned up in the morning. It starts raining. Site conditions totally change, or a sub shows up and starts working over there. They weren't working over there, or the haul route changes and now trucks are coming through here. Like, wait a minute, but you just keep going because production. Right. Like, even taking, let's just, hey, let's take 10 minutes, take a break. Conditions have changed. What do we got to consider here?
Yeah, that's why daily huddles and then debriefs at the end of the day. Like, so important, because conditions change all the time. And there's so many people working around you at all times. Like, it's such a rare thing to be able to go hit just a green field and like go start moving dirt.
Oh,
Like,
but that is
every once in a while, it's the
nothing
best
better.
feeling in the world.
Yeah, there's nothing better.
But
Well, I very much appreciate you driving down here.
yeah, it's been great. It's an easy drive. Great roads between here.
It's
here in
I'm
Louisville.
telling you,
Yeah.
Jones Brothers, Scotty's,
Yeah,
Louisville
exactly.
Paving. Yeah.
These guys know what they're doing.
Boy, do they. Yeah, I appreciate you coming down. I'm glad we were able to catch up. I'm excited about what you all are doing.
I appreciate that. Like you've come before. You're welcome to come visit jobs anytime. I'll keep sending you the neat and different ones. But it's fun watching your journey around the world, man. It's incredible.
It is fun.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's why I do it so much, because it's like I don't want to take this for granted.
No.
I have this cool little thing going. I just want to squeeze all the juice I can out of this.
You should. Absolutely.
We're right on.
That's been fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks. And hopefully we see you all soon.